last night. Tabitha's back. What? Listen, Tabitha got out. It's possible. Where's the tree?
Hillary, wait.
Okay, let's go.
I've got it.
Victor, your dad is here.
That's not possible, boy.
He's upstairs.
No.
Victor,
We're going to the tree. What?
they're right. I went out and I came back. And I came back with nothing.
Oop, damn, forgot to take off the banner. My bad. What's up, people? Welcome back. We have another episode of a From Review. We got Brian and a new guest on the channel. But first off, Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
And I'm Brian the Grizzly, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We on Mondays and Thursdays from 9 Central, and we talk until midnight about all nerd stuff, all movies, comic books, anything you could think of that you want to talk about, we will talk about because we love all the entertainment.
100%. And the channel is in the description. And the new guest on the channel, Julie, tell the people where they can find you as well.
So yeah, I have a pretty new channel. It's called Julie B Deep Dives, and I do like 2 to 3, well, usually 3 theory videos every week on From right now, which I'm covering pretty heavy. And yeah, and then 2 live streams a week, Wednesday nights and Thursday nights around 10 p.m. Eastern.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it. So I started off with the trailer for next week episode. Did you guys see that before? Or is that your first time seeing it?
Oh, that was the first time for me, actually.
That was my first time too, but I knew I was been reading the synopsis of episode 5, so I knew what to expect. But man,
Ooh.
Well, it looks like they're actually going to have a town meeting, which is exactly what we said they should have done from a long time ago. So that's going to be
Yes.
interesting. Now, hopefully, they get all the information out, right? Like, it's not just the decision, but they need to tell everything that's going on. Jade needs to tell what he's been seeing. Jim needs to talk about the phone call. And Tabitha needs to tell where she went. Like, it all needs to come out. So
and
I'm
they're not
hoping
going to believe anything, and it's so weird why everyone say I don't believe you when you've seen the things that they've seen.
facts.
It's crazy.
Mhm.
Facts. What are your thoughts, Julie? What do you think?
Yeah, God, I feel the same way. I don't want to get my hopes up too much because, like before episode 1 came out, there were these pictures that were released of Boyd and Jade that they were deep in conversation. It looked like, and I was like, yes, finally they're going to share information. They're going to put their heads together. And then we got all of like a minute of them together, and then all hell broke loose with the animals outside. So I'm not going to get my hopes up too much that they're going to share a lot of information like individually, but I agree with you guys. We are long past time for a town meeting. It should have been happening from the beginning.
It's
Absolutely.
funny. The thing that I thought about, I never thought, what if Henry and Victor have a bad relationship? What if
That's
the
a good
reason
point.
the mom and the sister and and Victor were away is because she ran away from Henry?
That's a good point. That's a really good point because when you see in the clip, Victor's like, "No, it can't be true," and he runs away. So it's either one, he don't believe it, or he has an issue with his father. That's going to be interesting. That is definitely going to be interesting. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility because I always noticed that anytime anyone has asked Victor, how did you end up here? How did you get here? He shuts down. He won't respond. He's never mentioned his father ever. He mentioned his mother, and then when he remembered his sister, he talked about her, but never mentioned his father. And shutting down like that is a trauma response. He says, I don't want to talk about that. That's a classic trauma response. So it could be that he had a strained relationship with his father. I went into this thinking that maybe it meant he was abusive, that his father was abusive.
Henry was abusive to him, and or we're telling him your mom's crazy, you're crazy for doing all these things. Why we have all this stuff, and then the reason why he kept held on to it is because he missed them. He realized maybe I was wrong. I pushed him away, and now I'm a different person. But you caused them to run away.
That's
he felt that way.
exactly what I'm thinking. Like, you took the thoughts right out of my head. That's exactly what I'm thinking. After meeting Henry as a character and seeing this level of emotion that he's expressing, I don't I know anything's possible, he still could have been abusive, but personally, I think it's more like what you were just saying, that he called their mother crazy. Yeah, Eloise and Victor's mother, called her crazy, and they had a fraught relationship. Maybe she took the kids and took off, and then he realized he was wrong. So, yeah, I
Which
agree.
would make sense why he was going so crazy to get back there, right? When Julie was in the car and she wanted to be like, no, we're going back. It would make sense because he wants to see his son so he can make amends for the stuff that he did. That's
Even
interesting.
his response to when Tabitha says, "I gotta get out of the car," it was an aggressive response.
Yeah.
So that was a trigger
Yeah.
for me. I was like, "Well, the fact that you don't know this woman and your first thing was to be that aggressive, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you want to see your son, but you're treating a woman that way. It's probably just the way you treat women in itself. So that might be something that comes back up later."
Mhm.
Very good point. Terrence said, Anzo, Terrence has to watch From. It's on my list. Is it worth watching? Absolutely, it's worth watching. 100%.
Yeah, Terrence
Um,
T will definitely love this show. I mean, because it's great writing, and that's the biggest thing. What Terrence is going to be about. Does the story actually make sense? And it definitely does, and it goes a long way into good lore. And I said yesterday, it's kind of like Supernatural Lost had a baby, and it was From.
yeah, for
Mhm.
real. So we're gonna get into the episode, guys, and it starts off where it left off with the ambulance and the tree. So when you guys saw that, did you guys think Julie was getting back to the spot too early? Did you think it was enough time? Because I think it was perfect. I don't think she should have been out there too long. Go ahead.
You go first. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think yeah, I'm with you. I know a lot of fans thought that she was back too soon, but I personally, in my opinion, like, I think it was the right time, because every episode that she was out there in scenes, that's taking us away from the rest of the cast that we want to see. I mean, what more was there for her to do out there? I think personally, I really didn't want a long journey where
Mhm.
she's without, we have this huge beloved cast that we want to see. We want to see Fromville. So I was happy with it. I liked how and I actually thought it was awesome the way that they did it, because if you watch back in Tabitha's lighthouse dream where she had that premonition, there's a toy ambulance on the stairs.
It
So it
is.
was
That's one of the
foreshadow,
things that she passes by on the stairs. I thought that I was like, that's nuts.
right? That's crazy. I love how they did that. I thought it was genius.
It's funny. I'm glad you guys brought that up because I was watching. I'm gonna go back and watch seasons one, especially when this is over, because I want to do a like whole breakdown of the series and what we've seen, see if there's little hints that we missed. And then I found one where I was like, oh, I haven't seen anyone really talk about this from season one, and I don't remember if they explained it because I didn't get that far in. But when they first reached the town, um, the one of the creatures calls out Julie's name, and he says, "You don't remember me." Now I don't know if they ever explained that anymore in the season, but I was like, "Oh, that could be a sign to this guy being the fake Thomas."
Mm,
Mm. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that could be. It could be.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I like
Let me see if I
he
can
looked
find
like
it.
a
Go
teen
ahead.
boy. He looked like a teen boy, so I always thought, okay, maybe he's pretending to be a friend from school. But hey,
Hmm.
you never
Hmm.
know. You never know. Could be a kind of, like Thomas from an alternate timeline or something like that.
Absolutely. Or, like I said, because he said or asked Julie if they remember him, right? Maybe it could be like the demons, they know certain things that are going on, so he's pretend. I don't know. It just seemed like I was like, oh, no one has talked about this. So when
That's
I
a good
seen
point.
that, I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch some of these episodes because I know there's a lot of things that I probably miss, and I believe there's a lot of hints in there. What are you gonna say, Brian?
100%.
I was just gonna say, like, it feels like overall, Fromville let Tabitha go, right? because they're doing what she's doing what they want to do. They know what she's going to go do. She's going to go and bring back Henry for Victor. I think they wanted her to be able to bring these other people back, the ambulance back, because they no longer had a vehicle. This is all part of their plan. I feel like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And they see the whole board, and we're just making moves, thinking that we're tricking them. And until you see everything that's actually going on, you won't understand the big picture. And they see the big picture, and we still don't understand what game we're playing. So, I think that's what the whole thing we're going to end up really talking about soon. We're going to talk about, we finally do see what they're thinking the whole time. This is what the whole point of them being here is. And the connections are between the people because they have similar stories. Their lives, their families are very similar, and we're missing the point.
Yes. And even in the first season, they say we were brought here. They don't say like, we got lost and just came here. They all know that they've been picked to be there. But this was the scene I was talking about.
Julie, what are you doing? Don't you recognize me?
Wow. That's a really good point.
Now, if someone can, because like I said, I got to go back and watch it. But if anybody remembers season 1, can they tell me if they ever talked about that again? Because they didn't in that episode, that's for sure.
Nope.
No, I saw. Remember, I went back and watched season 1 like 3 weeks ago, and they never mentioned that again. Who was that boy?
Again. Never again.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I definitely think that there's something to that. There might be. Nerdman is in the house. I sent you the link, Nerdman. He said, I've been watching season 2. Yeah, I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch season 1 and season 2 as well. Yeah, I'm thinking Fromville allowed her to leave. I don't think just anyone can jump off the roof and they'd be out. Must go. That's what I was saying. Like, they're like, let's go back to the lighthouse. And I'm like, well, who's going to be the first one to jump? Because I'm not jumping. You know what I mean?
But I think even more than that. I think if you do go through that window, you will go back to the real world. But more than anything, they left it unguarded.
Yes.
So there's no monster. You don't think that they could have some monsters sitting there waiting for them? They wanted her. There's almost like herding sheep. They herded her to go up there, and then they can't get through the window. So the boy ghost pushed her through the window.
Yes.
Facts. What's up, Nerdman? I told you I sent you the link.
I'm cool. A lesson in a horror movie: never say there's
Vanessa.
worse than death that can happen here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? If that's the case, then I really want to know what's worse than death right now, right?
Well, what they went through before with the milky white eyes, you saw that? I mean, remember them going through that? Yeah. That's worse than death. And just going screaming.
Absolutely. So now we get to the ambulance. They're trying to talk about the tree. Tabitha pretty much is freaking out because she can't believe. And I went back too, and this road that they're on is different from the road that they were on in the first one because it never had this borders here. So this is a totally different road than the first time she went there. So there was one part when Henry's talking, Victor's father's talking, right? And they're doing the montage between back and forth. He says there's many roads in, but there's no way out. So this is one of the many roads to get back into the situation. Nerdman, what are your thoughts?
I want to know how this, the dad of, what's his name?
Victor.
Victor. How did he get to that tree before? Because he's obviously been to the normal, to this tree that he was taking her to before, right? He's obviously been there, but not got to this road.
Well, the tree was from his wife, no?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The tree. She went to plant the tree somewhere else, or like she planted the tree in the backyard to remind her.
Well, she planted from the original, yes.
Right, but they'd obviously been there before and come back normally, like come back home, driven there, come back. I don't get how the ambulance just suddenly turns up in this way.
So this is the thing, right? they were meant to go back. So, like I said, there's many ways in. So even though they were going on the same route to get to the tree, they never reached that tree because they ended up however they got in pocket dimension, whatever you want to call it, they ended up on the road that leads back to Fromville. Because the ambulance driver says at one point in this episode, he's like, "Man, we've been driving so long, we should be in like the city or something like that, right?" So that's the thing. It's like, I guess you say, like a teleportation that puts them on their own. I don't know. Hopefully they explain it, but
I
that's
mean,
why, Nerdman.
that
Go
makes
ahead.
sense though, because I mean, have come from Michigan, some have come from
Yes.
California, some from New Mexico, from Arizona. It's all the same road that leads. Once you see the tree, then it always leads to town.
It's a
But
wrap.
Yes.
it doesn't matter where that road is. So
Yeah, it's a wrap
100%.
to that tree.
So now we get to Thomas, and Thomas gets the phone call, and of course, as
yeah, Ethan
Thomas
gets
does,
Thomas's.
Ethan, sorry.
Hello?
Thomas, Mom's in trouble. She's in an ambulance.
What ambulance?
You see, she's on her way. You have to help her. You can't be afraid.
So he gets the call. The call is telling him that the ambulance is coming. Is he trying to help, or is he trying
Oh,
to manipulate some stuff?
well,
Go ahead.
this is just my opinion in this situation. I believe they've been coming for Ethan from the beginning. They've been trying to lure him outside to get him. Something about him is a key. He's the one thing that could probably bring a lot of these people together, right? Because he has his family. He has a connection with Victor. He's a little boy that reminds, Boyd. Boyd somehow has a connection with him. He's connected to Kenny. All of them are connected through him. Ethan is a danger to them, and they're trying to take him out of the game. That's why they keep on trying to lure him outside. There's something about little kids that can end this, and I think that's important.
And I'm gonna let you guys go because I have a thought. But Julie, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think he's trying to help or manipulating?
I don't think he's trying to help. I think that he pulled this innocent act when he was talking to Ethan. He sounded friendly. He said, you've got to be brave. You have to be brave. She needs your help. And then as soon as Jim picked up the phone, he dropped the act. He didn't call him Daddy this time. He called him Jim in a really sinister voice. And he's like, they're not your children anymore. They definitely, for some reason, there's something about this place that wants the children. It wants to prey on children. So I agree with you. They're trying to target this kid. Something about Ethan. He's the new Victor. He took over Victor's role. When he first got to town and he saw the boy in white, Victor said, that means the boy in white chose you like he chose me once. So he has a special part to play in this. I agree.
You took it right out of my mouth. He's the next Victor. Like, if it goes to hell and everybody were to die, this is the one kid that would survive and be stuck there like Victor was. Nerdman, what are your thoughts?
That's a good point you just made. I think that could very well be an ending. My thoughts, just jumping ahead a little bit. Did anybody notice how everyone was like, the people who Victor came out and saw was dead? Did anybody notice how they were dressed?
No.
They were all dressed in like 50s style clothing, kind of like the monsters. If you just look, like, he was going around all these dead bodies, collecting all the like each individual thing from they were all dressed in 50s style clothing, exactly like these kind of guys. I'm wondering how long he's actually been here, even though his dad doesn't seem that old. But I was wondering how long Victor's been. Can you die there, like, if you don't get killed?
Well, Victor's how old now? Just if he's however he old now is, take off like 10, I would guess. You know what I mean? So he's been there for a good maybe 20, 30 years.
I'll say even longer. Victor looked like he's about 45, 50.
He's early 50s. Early 50s. So he's been here around around 40-ish years he's been here.
Maybe it was like the 77, 78,
Yep.
Yeah, something split.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. Put Ethan in the closet 100%. I agree with you. That was the
But
70s. So the closest scene was the 70s there, man.
what do I think
Go
of
ahead.
the voice? I think Ethan is hearing truly what the person is saying. I think there's the other voice that the dad is hearing is a distortion. I think you're right. He's something about the purity of this kid means he can see through the illusions of what is being said, or no, or
Right.
what is happening. Has he had any? He hasn't had any. What's it called? Like delusions
Vision.
yet, has he? Visions or anything? He hasn't
Other
seen
than
any.
seeing the boy in white, I doubt it.
He saw the boy in white just that one time, as far
Yeah.
as I know, and then one other time with Victor in the woods, and that
And
was
how did the boy in white look? Did the boy in white look normal or he looked evil?
No, it
Normal.
looked normal. Like the boy.
normal.
The mother saw him.
Normal.
Huh?
He looked
He looked
normal.
normal.
Yeah.
I think he's seeing what the kids are truly trying to say, and then whatever's evil is out there is distorting that for the other people, so that they don't want to search for what the clues the kids are giving them. They want to run away from it rather than actually face it.
So the father picks up the phone, and as we said, here's the voice, right? How it changes.
Hi, Jim.
You leave my children alone.
But they're not your children anymore.
Ooh. So what do you think it means? They're not your children anymore. I think the town, like we said earlier, is pretty much trying to take these kids for whatever reason. I think that's what it's all about, is those kids. Go ahead.
I think an answer is going to be when we find out what Victor did once he was the last one there. Then we will find out more about what the town wants with Ethan, what's really going on. Because as of right now, he just says, I came out, everyone was dead. And it was a long time before someone else, was around. So the boy in white played with me a lot. But how did he eat? What did he do? Did he hide? They didn't have talisman back there. So
Yeah.
what actually happened? I think a lot of it is being blocked out. And the fact that we seen Henry, some of that stuff might come up to the forefront. We'll find out that Victor's not as innocent as he seems.
That's interesting because you're right? So he would have to hide every night. He would have like things that kids would necessarily not be able to do. So you think the monster spared him?
I think they knew they needed him. So
Mm.
for some reason they're using him, and now they need another kid for some reason. And I think all the ghosts that they're seeing, even the scary ones, are trying to tell them something, are trying to warn them. And we see them being
Something big is
scary.
coming.
That something's happening. They're trying to say in their own words what's going on, and they can't tell you straight out. But everyone's so afraid of it, and they're so scared and shocked by it. The shock value is taken away from what they're trying to tell you.
Interesting. Very interesting. So this part happens, and this chick was on point. What's her name? Fatima or whatever? The black
Bacta.
chick?
Pick it up.
Yep.
Bacta, yeah.
Pick it up. I'm not touching that thing.
Dad, what are you worried about?
That bird just went kamikaze through a plate glass window to get in here. Whatever bad juju that thing has, I don't want any part of it.
That's a fact. It's funny because when I seen that, I said, "Yeah, that's a real black woman for you." You're like, "Nah,
Who's
keep
cleaning
that
all that
juju
blood?
away from me."
Who's the one cleaning all that blood?
Nikki,
Yeah,
it's the one who ends up losing
oh
her
yeah.
life. I noticed that too.
Wow. That's a good
Bad
point because I
juju.
didn't even notice that. Huh.
Who's cleaning the blood?
She didn't touch. Huh?
Who's
Was
cleaning the
that
blood?
Nikki, the one that got shot?
The one who gets shot.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Bacta was like, nah, bro, I'm good.
Bacta was right. Bacta was right. She got it.
That's interesting. I'm glad you pointed that out because I didn't notice that, right? I was too busy laughing at her and I didn't notice who was cleaning the blood. So you see, that's what I say about this show. It has all kinds of certain hints and stuff to it. It's crazy, but we're gonna figure this out, man. We're gonna figure this show out before it ends. Promise you that. So now
Yes.
we have Fatima getting checked out, and of course, she's telling her everything is okay and she is fine. And we all know that she's not. Now, I personally, my theory is that she ain't having no baby. She is turning into something. Do you guys feel that way, or do you actually think she's having a baby?
I think she's having a baby, and the baby's eating her from the inside out. And so she doesn't eat the blood or the bodies or the nasty stuff. The baby will start the monster that we saw later in the episode.
Interesting. Julie?
I don't think it's a baby. I think more and more, like, I've always just thought this is some kind of entity using her as a vessel. I mean, not from the very beginning, but as she, I don't know, as the season progressed with season 2, I thought, what are the odds? Like, with all the free love going on at Colony House, this one woman who says it was impossible for her to have a baby is pregnant. There's something suspicious about that. And now we see her getting sicker and sicker. It's like draining the life out of her, and it's craving these disgusting things. So, yeah, I think it's an entity.
Me too, 100%. Nerdman, you think she's
Oh
pregnant?
yeah. She's not she ain't having no babies. Like she may have babies that are eating people and shit, but like she ain't having no normal baby.
I think we're
Clearly.
getting the start of how they turned into those creatures, right? I really believe that we're seeing her. Now, I want to go back in season 2, but I want to get through season 1 first to find out if there was anything that happened to her that was like, oh, I missed that, right? Because I don't remember nothing happening to her. I don't remember I believe she did have a few interactions with the creatures, but other than that, I don't remember. What do you guys remember anything?
Her specifically, no. Besides the ones them breaking into the house and her having to put in the talisman and then them surviving overnight with Ellis, but no one touched her, so I
You
don't
mean in
know.
season 1 she got stabbed? Oh, sorry, not she. Sorry, season 2 she saw Ellis get stabbed and was
She saw Ellis get
upset.
stabbed,
Right. Yeah. Huh.
But I don't.
Interesting.
She's never been that interesting a character, so I've never really watched her so closely. So I don't know.
Well, now
I
she's
don't
very
know what happened.
interesting, and I need to watch. I need to find out because I'm sure there's some sort of hint of something that happened. Eric said, "What if Tabitha's body on the ground dead at bottom of the lighthouse, and everyone who dies in the Ville goes back to the normal world?" Hmm.
Hmm.
But then how would you explain her coming back though? Right?
Right.
Because if
Exactly.
that's the case, she came back. So how would you explain that? Right? She came back, but her body's still lying there. I don't know. Be interesting. The child could be the man in yellow, the ultimate evil.
She gives
That's
birth
a
to it.
that's
That's crazy.
interesting, right? Because I think a lot of people in a lot of videos I watch, they talk about a lot of reincarnation stuff. So maybe that's it, right? And what's the guy's name? Charlie? Right?
Yeah.
We still have to find out what the deal with him is, right? Because maybe he has a lot to do with the kids going missing, or it's just so much things that need to be answered. It's crazy. Tilly
Mm.
telling Fatima that it's okay to eat rotten shit. Come on now, Tilly part of this, or she's watching and helping her raise this demon baby. Tilly is definitely suspect,
Yeah, she says.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
she is definitely suspect. So I don't know, and then to bring in the tarot cards, because even Bata says that, like, you really bringing in tarot cards in this kind of a situation. Like, yeah, exactly. So now we get Victor, and Victor is going to see Sarah, and he wants to build a fort because he wants to um, remember what happened. And then he pulls, where's the line? Because it was kind of funny when he said that.
My mother too, but they died. Just like Nathan. Except I didn't murder them.
I was like, man, this guy,
Oh,
like,
the shade. The shade. I love it.
you know what I mean? And Sarah can't catch a break because you can see she's trying to do the right thing, right? She's trying to be, better than she was because first season, like she was into it. but she's trying to be better. But I know Victor didn't really mean it because but at the same time, yeah, he caught her with that one. What are you guys' thoughts of these scenes? What do you think between Victor and Sara? Because I thought they were pretty good. Go ahead, Julie, you start.
Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I I remember when I first saw the trailer and that they would be talking, I was like, what is going on? Why are these two talking? But it's actually, I think it's great because they're both tapped into this place in unique ways that others are not. So I liked that they're actually putting their heads together, they're sharing information. It's good to see communication happening. So I'm all for that, and yeah, I'd love to like the subtle, like the accidental shade that he was doing. He clearly wasn't even aware that he was doing that. Like, but it's just he had some of the best lines shading Sara. It was funny.
I agree. Nerd man.
They were okay. I like the line about not killing his family. But I didn't kill my family.
I got you.
Good. But I again,
go ahead.
I like this season, but I don't think it's as good as season 2 and 1 yet. It's yet to be seen. I feel like it could get there, but like I feel like some of it's a little bit like.
I actually think this season's better than season 2. To be honest with you, I think season 1's still the best, but I think it's better than season 2 for sure. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think it reminds us that Victor never really got past being 10 years old. So like the things that happen between people, like, the idea that maturity and how you deal with a community, he never really got that. So he speaks what is on his mind. He think it and it comes out of his mouth. And that's why, it happens. But I think these two characters together are very interesting because, as you said, they're connected into Fromville unlike anyone else. And they have a unique insight. So if we do start talking amongst the people, it's important that they get their stuff together because they probably can share more than anything than anyone else besides Ethan.
Agreed. So we get back to Tabitha. She's in the ambulance and they're having the discussion about, why they're on the road so long. And she's telling them there's a town. You just got to get to the town before nighttime. Now, I found it kind of because I was like, okay, so even if they're on the road where they are, like I guess the creatures can come out there and get them as well too, because she seemed kind of like, we need to get to the town. We need to get to the town, right? And so I guess
no talismans, so they're thinking like, yeah, if you see one on the road, we just screwed.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so, right? So yeah, they need to get to the town, and she's arguing with them, telling them to go there.
We're driving away from town.
What town? We're looking for the highway.
I know, but you have to listen to me. It's not safe to stop out here once it gets dark.
So I can understand why they think she's crazy, but man, you know what I mean? When you traveling for so long and you pass that tree, I would have been like, yeah, maybe we should listen to her, right? So we also get Boyd, and he's talking to Randall. What's that?
I don't care what the situation is or how unsuperstitious I am. If anyone tells me like you need to get to a place because after dark it's not safe around here, I'm listening to them. I don't care. Like even if it's like it turns out to be nothing, she was crazy, then she was crazy. You know what I mean? Like
no, I feel you.
It doesn't matter what's going on, because if we're in a crowded theater, I have no idea what's going on, and someone just starts running, I'm probably running too. That's just what it is.
Yeah, for real. And to be fair, right? It's like it's getting dark, and when you see the panic on someone's face, that's when you could be really like, okay, you know what? Like she's scared, We need to do something and take care of this. You know what I mean?
Also think that she has a concussion.
Yeah. So said, gotta love 10 episodes versus 8. MGM ain't taking shortcuts like HBO. Yeah, I do. I kind of wish we had more than 10 episodes, but I can understand with this show you don't want it to drag on, and I think that's the norm for shows nowadays. So I'm good with 10. Victor essentially raised himself and was raised by random people who got stuck in town and had a ghost as a best friend. Yes, and hopefully we get to know more about that little kid because in the picture that Tabitha saw, it's like a grown man in white, right? It's not a kid. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. Papa Sock said hell distinguished panel from fans and others. We have figured out what from is yet. No, we have not. But we will be sitting here every week until we
So we
figure it
figure
out.
it
That's
out.
for sure. Or until they tell us, whichever one comes first. So now we have Boyd and Randall. They in the car and they talking, you
Yeah,
know, and
something like that.
he's telling Boyd that they're having, a pattern and they're not doing the pattern tonight. So that shows me that even the creatures knew that that ambulance was coming back tonight. So like Brian said earlier, it's manipulating things. You know what I mean? It's manipulating things even in the real world, and that's how it was able to get them to come back so quick. What's your thoughts on that?
Yep, it's 100% happening. They're part of the phone calls. I think all this stuff is all part of one entity. They're all planning this, and we figured that out when the boy was in that dungeon, talking to the guy who said they've been like feeding on him for all that time. He said, "Just kill
Hmm.
me." We figured that. Then the monsters are just one part of this. There's something much bigger, much more important that's going on here. And when you see the monsters every day after day, you almost forget how important that someone is out there figuring all this stuff out, manipulating, playing all this stuff. And the fact that they're doing a pattern means it could be something just controlling them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm, yep.
Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I
Go
agree.
ahead, Julie. Your thoughts?
I agree. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Martin in the dungeon, he said that the monsters are just the tip of the spear,
Hmm.
and there's definitely a lot more to it. I think there's a whole hierarchy of entities. We saw one of them with the cicada entity,
Mhm.
and there's something controlling all of that. Like there's something at the top there that is. It almost seems like a hive mind sometimes with these monsters.
Yes.
They move they tend to move in tandem. They walk away in tandem. They're coordinated in a really interesting way. So yeah, it's interesting. And people say that the monsters are evolving. They're getting smarter. Yeah, I think it's the entity that's allowing them to do that. Whatever entity is controlling them it's evolving their methods. So yeah, now they're staging ambushes. This is the second one. This is
Yeah.
the second ambush this season. It's just a different type of ambush. Yeah, super
100%.
And
interesting.
it was a play dead ambush, right? You know what I mean? And usually when we see them, they're just standing there or, trying to surround you, but they actually played dead. So yeah, they're definitely getting smarter. Like you said, I believe something is actually controlling them. Speaking of Boyd, did he see what the monsters do with the organs when he watched them kill Kenny's mom? Do they eat them or what? That's a good question. They never really say anything, but I mean, she didn't have any when they found her, so he must know what they do with it. And I'm assuming they eat it, right? Because everybody that's been killed by them when they're found, their organs are gone. So I believe they are eating them. Now
And they're not
hopefully
just
we
ripped
find
out.
out
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
So they're not just ripped out because sometimes
Yeah.
you'll just do it just for playing, but they're obviously they sleep, they need nourishment, so they're alive in some type of way. Thus, they have to feed themselves, which makes
Hmm.
you look at Fatima a little bit more like, well, what's going on? Are you giving birth to a new entity that they can control? So yeah, I get you.
So we get to the part Nerdman was talking about where Randall says, maybe there's something worse here than death. Nerdman, you want to explain why that kind of bothered you or that line?
It didn't bother me. I was just like, you're dead. That's you should not say that shit. You should know better than that by now, bro. I know your mom
It's
told you
fun.
better than that.
It's funny because you get the idea that he was going to die, but unfortunately, they kind of spoiled that in the teaser trailer that they gave us out earlier. So that's why I was like, oh, Randall,
I'll I'll tell you this. I thought it was a little weak sauce, to be honest, because I don't feel like he's a character that we necessarily cares dies. He's such a prick that you kind of don't like, and he plays it well in a way, like to the point where you know it's not like you even appreciate his performance. You just think, oh, this guy's he's a fucking prick.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like when they talk about a few deaths, there's gonna be someone more important than that. Like I don't think he's one of those ones where it's like, oh, a few deaths. You know what I mean? Because you're right. I don't think anybody would care if he died.
When you think about who was in danger in that situation, you're like, he's the one that like no one would give a shit. Like no one's gonna do a whole episode about, you know, this guy, like his funeral and whatever, you know what I mean? Like that would be a
ash to ashes, dust to dust.
If they did that, like if they did that, it would be a complete waste of my time. I'd be like, bye.
Papa Socks asked, does the panel have a working theory as to what From is? As far as I can tell, this place is that house is evil, where evil can play, where evil can flourish, and I believe hope is its destruction. I don't know what it is. I really don't. You know what I mean? People are talking about, you know, purgatory and, you know, other dimensions and you know, it's just weird what it is. So I think we'll get any information on that. What about you guys? You have any theories onto what Fromland is actually? Fromville is?
I do.
Go ahead, boy.
I actually think I think that it's a pocket dimension, which is something that the minor character Dale said early in season 1. And I think if it is, that would be a clever way to slip the truth in there, because we didn't even hear that whole conversation he was having. We walked in the scene, like we entered the scene while he was mid-conversation saying, no, it's a pocket dimension. And we're not supposed to take him seriously as a character. The people on the show don't take him seriously. So and that's not the only reason why I think that. I just think that this place operates a lot like a pocket dimension too. The way Henry described it, he was talking about how his wife, Miranda, she said, like, this place is like all around us in a way. And, you know, there are many ways in, but once you're in, you can't get out. And it sounds a lot like it could be another dimension of some type. And we have all these what seem like portals around the country that open up, which, you know, it fits a lot with like the sci-fi idea of like a thin spot between dimensions with certain places where you can cross over. So yeah, that's what I think it is in a nutshell. I could go on all night, but I'll stop there.
Brian, what do you think?
I think it's a labyrinth. I think it's a test. I think it's a test. It's for people that they find worthy, or families they find worthy. It's just a test to see if you can get out of your problems, because most of them are having problems, or in the middle of something that's you know, something that they're worried about. You know, if it's not school or a drug overdose or family problems, or, you know, you're about to go into retirement. I think this is a test to see where you're going to go, and it's a labyrinth to get out. And if you do get out, they'll let you go and move on. If you're not, you're stuck there until you die.
Interesting. What do you think, Third Man?
So hateable as well. Like the fact he kind of low-key looks like a neo-Nazi. It's just in the back of your mind and your unconscious. You just kind of like, but I mean, yeah, like I kind of, you know, regarding this scene, I kind of saw it coming, even though I didn't notice that they'd given it away. But like, I saw it coming, and I also thought, like, you know, this show kind of needs a character like him, a disruptor, a detestable character. So it's kind of unfortunate that he went. I would have rather see someone else in danger, someone that I really believe Boyd would be like stressing out, like he's on that, you know, like they're laying on top of that van, and.
But if there's anyone else, you probably wouldn't have left him out there. But I believe, because Randall came in saying one of these guys are moles. Usually the person that says someone's a mole is the
Is the
mole.
mole?
Yeah,
I
could
would not
be.
be surprised, and that's why they saved him. That's why his
Mm.
job is to make everyone not trust Boyd for safety. Because right now, as of right now, if Boyd's around, everyone feels safe. We're going to listen to him. We're going to be organized, all the good stuff, right? But if
But I'll tell you
Randall,
why he isn't a mole. I'll tell you why your theory is wrong.
okay,
He was seeing all that stuff, like the what was
The
it?
cicadas.
Huh?
The cicadas.
Yeah, exactly. So he was seeing all of those, and he was seeing them alone. He was seeing them, like we were seeing from his perspective. And so it would be weird. They could do it, but it would be weird for them to suddenly turn around and say, "Oh no, he was a mole,"
or not know that he's a mole, but he's in
if he
all
was
the
a
things that
mole,
are
why
happening
is he doing all the crazy shit like everyone else?
to make you not feel like he's the mole.
Yeah,
Because
but
if he's
that
not
would be,
really in danger, I mean, that would be one
yeah,
thing
but
to do.
that's cheap writing. You can't like have it where a person is alone, right? Like there's no one around, and then they see that shit, react to it, and then so we're seeing from their perspective, and then turn around and go, "Oh no, he was always part of it anyway." It's like it doesn't make sense unless they somehow make that a part. I don't know. You know what
No,
I'm
I hear
saying.
what you're saying, though. I hear exactly what you're saying.
It'll be very interesting. Like, and I get it, right? We're all saying, but is there really a mole, right? I don't know if Tilly's actually a mole. Maybe like some sort of witch or something, right? That's just there to make sure everything progresses along as it should be. But when we're talking about mole, we're actually talking about someone that's actually working with these creatures. I don't know. Be weird. It could be, right? Now that I think about it, because in the first season, Sarah was hearing voices, and the voices were telling her that if she was killing people, they would go home. So it's possible that the voices could be talking to someone else in there, Donna, saying, if you do certain things, you can go home.
She's scared.
I
You've
think
never seen her act that way.
I think if
Yep.
anyone's a mole, it's Victor. There's something I don't trust about Victor.
I don't think it's Victor.
I know it's weird, yeah, to say, but like he's kind of hiding in plain sight, bro. Like,
I
he was
feel
there
you.
from the beginning, he's there from the jump. Maybe they're manipulating him or something like that, but like I don't trust him. I don't trust his haircut. I don't trust that jacket. I don't trust him.
So we get to Kristi, Kenny, and Jade, and they're having a conversation. And at least we finally get some conversation where Jade is actually explaining, what he's been seeing. And then we have Kenny talking about his mom and stuff like that. We go back to Victor and Sara having a conversation. They're building a fort, and he's pretty much remembering certain things. Now, here's the scene that Nerdman is talking about where everybody is wearing, what'd you say, 50s clothes, Nerdman?
Yeah,
Like
watch the clothing. Look at their clothing that they're wearing as he's going past them. They try and obscure it a little bit, but maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like that's 50s style.
Can't really play this scene because YouTube will strike it down for, you know what I mean? So I could just show the picture on that one. But you guys can go watch it and see if you got there. Robert
Oh,
Saunders
what?
said, hello, my
So we
friends.
can't even see, like, is there pictures of it? Can you show pictures?
Well, no, if you watch it again, if I play that scene and YouTube catches it,
Can
they're going to be like, oh.
Can you go on a shot where you see their clothing? Just not play it.
I can try and find the where he's picking up the watch from the dude, but I think it might have passed already. Because we have him talking to the boy in white. Anyways, you guys know the situation.
We'll get that. You'll do it.
Yeah. So they finally get into the town with the ambulance, And here's where things really hit the fan, because when they
Come on,
stop,
go ahead, I got this. You're not fucking listening to me. Where are you going?
so
Don't go. Please don't fucking go. Don't fucking go. Fucking
so first off, there is no way in hell, I am telling you, I would have let that woman handcuff me. There is no way, bro.
Who does that? Because even if you got in an accident, right? Now
Mhm.
you trap that person, handcuff them to
Facts.
the ambulance. Who the hell thinks that's a good idea? Ain't no way in hell.
Yeah.
She wasn't even being violent. Like, she literally wasn't being violent.
That was
She was
messed up.
just, yeah, 100%. And I get it, right? Do it for dramatics, for the show or whatever. But I would have been like, if you would have to kill me before you get them handcuffs on me, because I already know what's going on. So nah,
Right?
that's not happening.
Oh,
Still, go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
Do you think there's any reasonable way she could have said to them or explained to them this scenario?
It's hard too, because nobody would believe it. Like, even when you first get to the town, you don't believe it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
You
it
know,
would be
there's
hard
any
to.
reasonable way, yeah.
I don't think there's
But
anything that she could have said to convince them of the danger. I mean, she was just sounding deranged, but I would have put up more of a fight. Yeah, like I wouldn't have
yeah,
just submitted to being handcuffed that easily.
Oh no,
But
you
100%.
got me.
I don't get when. Sorry, go, brother. Brian, go.
No. I was gonna say no. It's like she's just like, oh no, you got me. No,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You violently fight. You know
Yeah.
you're monsters. You need to make sure that she doesn't handcuff you and you don't get stuck in here.
Right, I
Listen,
wanted her to run over the tree. I was so hoping that we would finally see a character run over the damn tree.
What if she?
Damn.
What if she said something like, "I've been here before, and these people do this. They play dead, and then they like kind of knife you or something like that, or I don't know, like just something rational, like fairly rational or something." But
This is a very
also, I
dangerous
don't
area. We need
understand
to
what
get in.
this scenario. I can kind of see it, you know,
Mhm.
like even I would be a bit like skeptical, although I wouldn't step out that car with a woman
Facts.
doing.
Facts.
I ain't stepping
Because
out the car going to nobody, but
100%.
I would probably be skeptical.
No,
Um,
I get it.
you know, but I don't understand when multiple people, like those people on the bus and that black woman, you know, in season 2, and she was just like, "Yeah, just get on the bus. Don't listen to them. We've got places to go." When multiple people are telling you like some shit is going down, you know, it doesn't, like, that's when it kind of like, I'm like, really? You
It
don't?
could be, but you could also be thinking like it's some kind of cult or
It
something
could be
like that. You know what
them
I mean?
doing it to me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't trust
That
these
is
people
true.
or whatever. So yeah.
And that's more likely in our world, actually, to be honest.
Still trying to figure out what was outside the cabin where Kristi, Jade, and
And
Kenny are.
Kenny.
Maybe it has to do with history, rich trials, ancestries, the lost colonies, or maybe aliens. Man, I got a theory that it might be someone who we thought was dead. You know what I mean? Like Victor's mom or maybe Victor's sister or something like that. And she's pretty much just watching to see why these people are staying in her spot or whatever like that. Maybe to think if it's safe to go out there, because honestly, something happened in that town where probably someone let these creatures know where everybody. I wouldn't even say hiding, because the bodies are like all over the town. So if Victor's sister survived, she probably wouldn't trust anybody, right? Because she's been living out there by herself. So she probably wouldn't trust anybody. So if that's her or someone that died, they're probably just watching to see what's going on. I'm not 100% sure it's one of those creatures, though.
It's
At
something
least
you
not yet.
said before, Anzo, though, that those talisman had the same like
Yeah, I got
logos
that from Julie's
as the
channel.
rest.
Hmm.
So those are exactly. So I think it could be someone that was able to get through because they broke one of those statues out front. So that could be something that's going on, and we might see that still in the next episode.
I agree with that, but didn't we hear something the first time they were there before they even broke it, if I'm not mistaken?
Kenny
Yeah,
heard
so
something. Kenny did hear
yeah,
something.
yeah, they heard footsteps.
It said in the closed captions, "footsteps departing." So there was something there before, and I like the idea of a loner like Eloise. That's my working theory too. Like that it's Eloise living out there all this time. That would be cool.
Yeah, I agree with you too on that one. Are we sure they aren't day creatures walking amongst them as well? We know of the night creatures, but I'm not so sure they aren't day ones too. That's an interesting theory. It could be, right? It definitely could be. But I think one of the way Boyd is going to be able to get answers from one of them if they ever do kidnap them is by threatening to leave them out there until daylight. I honestly believe that something with the daylight maybe kills them or something like that. That's why they always hide during the day. Could be. So we'll
Because if
find
that's the
out. But
truth, you can use ultraviolet lights to kill them.
yeah, well, they'd have to find it though. Where are they getting that?
You have an
You know what I mean?
engineer. You have an engineer. You can make it
Yeah, that's
ultraviolet
true.
light.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. In the season 1 episode, when Sara got the message to kill Ethan, it looked like worms under her skin just before the message appeared on her arm. Well, that's interesting. See, I got to go back and watch that because I
Yeah,
know
and
there's
you
things
saw
that I missed.
that's kind of really suspect that like scientists do the what's it, the one who owned the internet company or whatever.
Jade.
Yeah, Jade.
Why hasn't he tried that? I mean, surely he must think like, oh, they always come out at night. Why don't we try and make like he tried to make a whole communication device, like you can make a UV light device.
Try to kill them first, eliminate the danger, and then try to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys
that goes
are
in the
not.
same place of trying to figure out why they don't just talk to each other.
That's been bothering me, bro. Like I've been watching that since season 2. Like the guy's like, oh, let's trap one. Why don't you talk to before you do anything, like figuring out anything, find out every delusion that everyone has ever had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sit down, talk about it. What was it? You know, because for all you know, one of the monsters has already told someone, oh yeah, Boyd's gonna like try and kill one of us. And that's what we have planned, you know. Like he
Because
doesn't
they
know
seem
that.
to know, right? They seem to know everything that's going on so far, right? They knew the ambulance was coming and all that stuff, so maybe they know Boyd's plan. You're correct. They should, and to be fair, next episode it looks like they're having a town meeting. So we said earlier, let's hope that they just like everything needs to be talked about. Everything, like
Jim is the perfect person, right? Because Jim, when they first got the house, they were writing all these things on the walls. Let's walk this out. Let's work this out. Let's talk about all these things. Let's write all these questions on the wall. Let's talk about them, right?
Yeah.
That's what he should have done with the entire town. Hey guys, let's meet for an hour every day. Anything we're going through, let's write it on the wall. Let's talk about these things so we can all understand our shared experiences. So maybe there's a reason why we're here.
100%. I've been saying that too from the start. Why didn't they all do together what Jim was doing privately in his house with just his family? All of them. They had the right idea. That's what everyone should be doing together.
100%. And we're gonna get into that because I have a thought on that too. But Papa Sock said, I think you guys are not taking into account Tabitha just got pushed out a window, was unconscious for 3 days, talked to a priest who knew she had a son, and was in a car crash and woke up in from. Well, I don't think we're not taking it into an account. We are. I just think that she got out into the real world, but they probably it was for a reason, right? I think that the town let her go for a reason, and we still haven't figured out what that reason was yet. I think whoever has the worms or cicadas, the slow walkers can't kill them. I know the worms, but the cicadas, I don't know. It's interesting. I watched it 5 times to make sure. Talk about it. What's up, Sci-Fi Nation? How you doing? The monsters know way too much during the day. Yeah. What happens during the? Oh, they know too much of what happens during the day. I got you. The last person to talk to one fell in love. Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's what they said earlier. Like you can't talk to them because they manipulate your mind. And
Get in your head.
I No.
I mean, she played him, but she played him so hard. She was like,
Yeah, no.
Hey,
I'm sorry, no.
I'm leaving. I'm not coming back ever.
Oh,
She
Like,
could have
what?
been standing there butt naked with the hottest body in the world, and I would be like, no.
I would close it.
Yes, Hold on, I'll be right
What are
back.
you talking about? Wait, what did you say? What are you talking about?
Huh? We're talking about when
the hottest part of what?
no, because we're talking about the scene where they manipulate one of the guys. He fell in love and he got out. They let it in or whatever. And I'm saying I don't care what kind of body she has. Then I'm not. There's like no
Oh,
closing that
right.
window.
The guy from the window. He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
what a simp.
Didn't he have like flowers for it and everything too?
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
bro,
he did.
like
That
really?
guy was a simp, bro.
I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But no, that's not happening.
Come on, nobody should be that lonely. That
In a house where everything goes. In a house where you can do whatever you want in that house. You gonna fall in love with this ghost that's gonna eat everyone alive. You crazy, man.
Fast, because the first night Jim and Tabitha were in the house, two people were having sex on the chair, like right there in front of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I would have. Hey, baby, you want to go in the bathroom or something like? There's no way, not happening.
The problem with it as well is I don't even remember her being distinctly that, like, like it wasn't like she was personable, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I have great conversations with her, or like she was that hot, It's just like clearly a ghost. So that was weird. Maybe he wanted
Randall didn't die. He had the cicadas. Yeah, but I think there's a reason why they left Randall alive. Like, you know what I mean? There's a reason why they left him alive. Yeah, to mess with Boyd. And because at the end of the episode, which we'll get to, but you see Boyd opens up the window, still night, and they're there. So, yeah. So he goes out to go and talk to this thing or help it, and it slashes his throat. And man, when it pulls, I say I gotta be careful. Gonna cause an issue. Trying to get to the yell. When that thing yelled, it's like, okay, so now you're sitting there and you're calling the rest of your people, right?
Back up!
Mm-hmm.
Those were gunshots.
Which means those things are already out there.
But we've all seen Resident Evil, right? I'm saying we've all seen Resident Evil. You've seen a zombie. You know what a zombie looks like. I don't have to be around a zombie to know that a zombie's coming towards me. Why am I still shooting it?
That's what I'm saying.
Why are you not going for a headshot?
1, 2, 3. Oh, you're still alive? All right, I'm out.
Right.
100%. And you're right, nerd man. Should have went for a headshot at least, right? But even that, you go for a headshot, nothing happens, you run. There's no standing there shooting 2 or 3 more times. No. Gone. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with that cop, because she just keeps shooting, right? Now Jim is like, oh no, it might be my wife because of the phone call, and he wanted to run out there. And at this scene happened, I was just like, oh my God, if Ethan runs out this house, I am going to be pissed. And what does Ethan do?
Pissed me off even more that he did. I'm going to tell you in a second. One thing that annoys me, and it happens almost in every freaking TV show, I really hate it. I really hate it. Do you want to get to the part, or should I just tell you?
Go ahead.
He runs into the car, and then he kisses her and goes, "Oh, we missed you."
Yeah.
That's the car, bro. The door's open.
I agree.
They didn't even close the door before the kiss.
I agree, 100%.
I was like,
100%.
Fuck it. I don't even care. I like your characters. You deserve to die.
Here, I think this is the scene he's talking about. Yeah. Now, did you notice how quick Henry woke up? Like he was like knocked out for the whole, and then like he got up like he wasn't even hurt anymore. You know what I mean? When he heard the scream.
Right, he looked gravely injured too. I mean, the car. The car T-boned him right on his driver's side, and he's laying there with his head supported in that thing, and all of a sudden he's able to jump up.
He just jumps up like that. Yeah, I agree. So here's the partner I was talking
You
about.
assess the situation. She's handcuffed. That's going to take a few seconds to deal with. No, let's keep the door open.
Yeah, right. This is stupid. That was stupid. There was no time for that. Have your reunion later when you're safe inside. Come on.
Facts. I agree. And there's no like pausing and hesitating. It's like, oh, you're here? Okay, boom, let's get you out of here. You know what I mean?
You
I
say
agree with you 100%.
immediately, I'm handcuffed.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure about the inconsistent NPCs. Are too much for me to say. It's just the real world. It happens in 2 episodes. It can't be a mistake. I got you. Sci-fi said his head was in a sling. Exactly. And he got up like it was nothing,
It was like his heartbeat was on a monitor, like doo, doo. I heard the scream, let's go.
And now here's another part that irked me too, Nerdman, right? So he comes, Boyd and Randall come. He's like, handcuffs, give me the key. He don't have the keys. I was like, you have a gun, right? Shoot the handcuff. What are we doing here?
He's like, quick, use this gun as a hammer. Like,
I'm not even gonna lie. I was watching season 2 again and as well, and it's like they do so much dumb shit. It's unbelievable. But I somehow give it a pass with this show. Like, remember the time when they found out like the blood or whatever, the blood of your blood, and it killed the
creature.
It killed one of the monsters.
Yeah.
So they finally get this bile out of the monster, and they're like, oh, maybe that can kill it. And they're trying to figure out for a whole day or something like what they should do. And then the black kid goes, why don't you werewolf it? Like silver bullet it. No one thought of that before. No one thought, oh, maybe we should put the blood on a bullet and use it as a, like, how is that not the first thing that comes to mind? What's the safest possible way we could take out this creature? They were all thinking about going up close and trying to rub it on their face or some stupid, like.
No, I agree.
It's unbelievable, these guys sometimes.
So Randall decides to play hero, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go get the tool kid on the bus by himself. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is not going to be good for Randall. But yeah, so we get back to the house, and, you have, what's her name? Nancy?
Yep.
That's her name? Nancy looking out the window.
Yeah.
And of course, the cop is running towards the house. And she's just shooting all willy-nilly.
Right in the chest and in the stomach.
Why is she standing by the window? Why are you standing by the window? Also, if there's an open part, right, like there's an open space, I thought that means monsters can get in.
Well, you see, I heard that too, and I believe there's a part where they're actually fixing the window after it breaks, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as it breaks, they start to fix the window because they already know that.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah. She said, like, oh, somebody board up those windows. They board them up really quick. We just don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, boom, we get the
We'll
shot.
say this. If anyone's grown up in a tough area, you hear gunshots, the last thing you do is go by the window to see what's going on. Everyone, you get down, you put your head over your hands over your head. Let's get down. Let's not worry about this. I'm not trying to go find out. Hey, what's going on? What? That's the same as a monster chasing you. You run upstairs. Like, where you gonna go? Like, there's no reason to go towards that window. No, you don't need to be looking out. What's happening? You got shot because you're being stupid. That's your fault.
100%. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, again, right, and I know what you're saying there, man, it's a TV show, so I give it a pass for certain things. That's why I was like, yo, you should have, you shoot the handcuffs. There's no reason for Randall to run. And someone's like, oh, what about the ricochet? I don't care about no damn ricochet right now. The only 2 people in that truck, or 3 people would be Boyd, Jim, and Tabitha. Boyd should be shooting the handcuff, right?
Here's what you do: you get those 2 people out, run towards the house, and then deal with the handcuffs quickly.
Yes.
Quickly.
Yes. Shoot it. Boom. One time. Shot. Boom.
Right.
You out of there. Go ahead, Julie. You can say something?
We know those things move so slow. So I mean, all they'd have to do is don't even worry about finding the keys to the ambulance. Shoot the handcuffs off, then just run like hell. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's like watching a horror movie, and people act like idiots and do this stupid shit. It's like you got to suspend your disbelief sometimes. But
well, I think they do it on purpose in horror movies. To be honest, I think it's a trope that they play into because they want you to. Because you don't get scared as an adult of a horror movie, so the only engagement you can have is,
people do stupid
why are
stuff.
you doing? Like that. So I think that's kind of done on purpose, but I don't know if it's being done on purpose in this show.
Forget that. I'm scared of a horror movie because I'm not scared of real life, but I am scared of things that can hurt me that I can't punch. So ghost thing comes in, and it hit me, and I can't do nothing to him. That scares me. So if it's something that it's in real life, like, I'm not afraid of a person. I'm not going to be afraid of that. But something that I can't beat, that scares me.
Yeah, I agree with Nerdman too. I don't think they're doing it on purpose in this case. So yeah, it is a trope in horror movies, but yeah, you're right. It's frustrating in this show. I don't think it's intentional.
Even if the metal part in the handcuffs or thing you don't want to shoot, couldn't you just shoot the thing that's connected to?
Connected to it, yeah. Exactly.
That's plastic, right? That's just a hard plastic, right? You can just shoot that, and I'll go right through, no problem. Shoot down,
100%.
Just go right through. Right?
100%. There's so much things you could have shot to get her out of there. You don't have to have Randall going and risking his life. But we get the cop. She gets in the house, and she's feeling bad for what they do. Donna tries to calm her down, and then we have Randall. He's in the truck. He gets and boom, cicada. You see, so now here and here's the thing, right? Because he sees that one there, he brings it to Boyd. He gets surrounded, right?
Hey, get back to the bus!
So
I'm running
another
through those things.
Yeah, me too.
I'm running through them. I don't care.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Maybe the delusion's too powerful. Maybe it's like an acid thing,
But there's another part, and I'm glad I played this right, because he pulls out the talisman, right? And she says it doesn't work like that, right? Hold on, let me get to it. She said it doesn't work like that. Then Boyd comes around the corner and he throws Boyd the toolkit, but keeps the amulet. Why didn't you throw that too? Then Boyd could have locked himself in the bus and they couldn't get him. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. That was foolish.
I wouldn't have thrown it. No, to be fair, I wouldn't have. I don't care if they say it doesn't work like that.
You see, but here's the thing, though, Norman. He could have threw it, right, and ran to the house. He didn't have to go back to the bus. They would have let him in the house, right? So he could have ran to the house. That's what he should have done. And then, you have Boyd and they could have stayed in the bus the whole night if they had to, because they have the talisman in there. I'm just like,
that's too smart.
I don't know why they didn't take a talisman out to the bus,
because they don't. The only one that has her in the house, and you can't take it out the house because then they'll be able to get it.
How many of these things do they have? Wouldn't you be it's like a car key? You know what I'm saying? It's like you if it's daytime, you take it with you just in case. You know what I'm saying? In case you find yourself in some fuck shit, so that you can just jump into the nearest thing that's walled and put it on, right?
Hang it up.
Yeah, I agree with you. During the day, I would. But again, okay. So if you live in alone, that's fine, right? But if you have your family in there and you go out by yourself, you can't take the talisman because your family's in danger.
That is true.
Right?
But how many do they have? They seem to have quite.
He had a whole lot in his coat when he brought him back. And then why don't you just always have a tent? Why don't you have tents just all around? Run and just jump into a tent, hang it up. Can't get me now.
I think I heard in a video that Boyd did do that in season 1 or 2 or whatever.
He did when he was stuck and they dragged the tent and he ended up by the lighthouse. But he lived. They dragged the tent.
They didn't know that it would work before that, right? So then they did it. Now they know it works. So yeah, you're right. You
Season
could
2
at
or
least
season 3,
explore
you might
more.
as well
Yeah,
have a
you could
tent
explore
now.
more. Yeah. Said
They have
if you
12 talismans apparently.
12.
I think she's right.
Yeah.
If you can go to the window when shooting starts, but you ain't supposed to stay there as long as Nicky did. Yeah, she stood there and just watched. You know
She
what I
heard
mean?
it and
Like,
she
oh.
went.
So here's how you do it, right? Like you take your talismans with you, right? And like any family or whatever, I don't know how you would exactly organize it, but like if you're out and you're on a mission or something, you need a talisman, right? Like so you send everybody, like the family, if you're out and you need it, to the house. Like you know, obviously that's going to be overcrowded, but it will just be for one night, right? Like just send them to the house, stay there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Until we've done all the, you know, like, because walking out without a talisman is for the birds, man. I don't, you know, in this situation, maybe you couldn't have done that because it was, you know, too late or something. But
CT5 News Era said, from Lee, I have a question. What the F happened to the talisman that Randall had in his hand before they left him? Why the hell didn't Boyd just run them over and get the talisman and put... You see, that's what
what
I
I
thought
didn't
Boyd was
understand.
going to do, too.
Turn
I
around,
thought
go
he
in
was...
reverse, and hit them and knock them all over.
And
Yeah.
run them all
Yeah.
over. That's what I would have tried. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's what I thought he was going to do. But, okay, so the question, and we could get to it because we're at the part now, I was like, the question was, did Boyd make the right choice? What do you guys think?
he never makes the right choice.
No, here goes nerd man. I'll start with you, Julie. Did Boyd make the right choice?
He's lucky he's played by an actor I love, because that's why.
Gotta love Harold, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's frustrating because he just keeps. I think this place is just getting in his head so much that it's compromising his judgment because he's not making good choices. In this case, he was put in a tough spot. I mean, I do think it would have been smart to try to run them over in the ambulance. On the other hand, they were all gathered so closely around Randall on the ground. I don't know. I think he would have probably hit Randall too if he tried that. So he was put in a tough spot, honestly. Like if it were me, I would have at least gone out to see if I could try and get Randall after. But
Nah.
he'd have to assume he was dead. So.
After all the shit he's done, nah. I'd shoot him. I would say mercy killing. Are you talking about now, or are you talking about like earlier, like when he was
During
like,
this right now?
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Right now. Okay, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I thought you meant like right at the end, like where he's.
Oh, okay. No. Right now. We're talking about the part right now. We're gonna get to that. We're getting there.
How would you see if you could get him? I don't understand. Like the monsters are right in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to assume that Randall is dead. So, yeah, that's a good point. I don't think that he really had any other choice than to do this because it's like the trolley problem in philosophy. It's like, okay, do you save like the group of people and allow harm to come to one person, or do you try and save the one person? You're going to save the group of people, and that's what he did. So. I think he had no other choice. And if he had tried to run over the monsters, he would have run over Randall too. That's my take.
Brian, do you think he made the right choice?
Not only did he make the right choice, here's the thing where everyone's forgetting. The monster could have eaten him when they handed him the key. Okay? So understand, they told him, they straight up told him, look, you can either save them or you can save Randall. That's all you got. They gave him a choice. So then if he goes back on it, then they kill him. Then the town doesn't have him and doesn't have Randall. So you really have done nothing. Nothing. The monsters have not told him something that didn't actually happen. We're going to make you watch. We're going to try to break you. All the things that they've ever told him have been true. So like in the back of his mind, he could say, as much as I hate these characters, I hate them overall, I know they're telling me the truth. I need to save these people first.
They give good advice.
Well, I'm letting you do. That's what they're saying. I'm letting you do this because I could kill you.
And I'm gonna say this. I think he made the absolute right choice because Tabitha, you need to know how she got out, right? You need to know where she was all this time. So I think that is priority number one. Randall, brother, you gotta go. It's for the greater good
I don't
of
even
the
like
people here.
you.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I
You
don't even like you,
know,
Yeah.
you gotta go. If
but
Randall throws the
I do
talisman,
feel
then
bad
he
for
has
Randall.
nothing.
I feel bad for Randall because, like, he basically risked his life out there, like,
That's the
to,
issue,
to do all of
right?
that. So, like, I think the onus was on them to try, but they put him in. I feel like they put him in danger.
He put
That
himself in danger. All
I
he had to
don't
do was go back to the house.
think the
They told him to go back
appropriate
to the house.
thing.
yeah.
Huh? Sorry?
They told him to go back to the house. They said, "Hey, go back to the house." He's the one get attacked by these cicadas that no one else sees. They just see him running around in a circle on the ground. They don't know what the hell's going on, and then he gets caught. That's not their fault. I told you to go back to the house.
Yeah, and
That was on you.
Yeah, he took it upon himself to run to the bus and get the tools. Boyd was like, "Hey, wait!" He didn't like. So Randall volunteered to do all this like heroic shit. Like this, like they were like people were calling him Dime Store Chris Evans in season 2, and it's like he's trying to be Captain America now for real. He's trying to be the hero. He did all that on his own.
And I agree with you guys. Like he did it all on his own, but at the same time, right? He's been an asshole through the whole show, and finally he's trying to do something good, and he gets left behind. You know what I mean?
What does that tell you?
Yeah, sorry,
Just
guys.
be who you are.
Just go ahead, keep being a jerk. Yeah.
If that was
He's
Julie on the
pretty
ground,
heroic,
Boyd
but
would
to
have.
be fair, even from the beginning, he was heroic. Like when the guy was trapped under the house, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and help," and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not like against character, really.
He did try to help.
I also think, in a weird way, like you're gonna miss a character like that because now everyone's just nice. Everyone's just like, there's no wild card, like, you know what I mean, who kidnap somebody and like strap them to a tree or like throw away the keys like to the car like right before it's turning into night just to see what happens, like that kind of
my
stuff.
point. I'd be like, yeah, man, you deserve to go, bro.
Huh? Sorry?
I'd be like, you deserve to go, man. That's sorry, You just kidnapped her at nighttime and tried to kill her. I'm sorry. I told you to run. You didn't run. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
So Papa Socks asks, anyone have a count of number of monsters in Fromville? No, I don't think they even give us a real count because I have no idea.
But Randall probably knows because he has to watch them
see.
every day. He saw them every night. He knows exactly who walks past the bus. He probably knows exactly how many there are.
If this was Lost and that was Walt on the ground, Boyd would have put it in reverse. Hey, listen, I think there's going to be some sort of connection to this show and Lost. I don't know what it is yet, but I definitely think they're going to try to connect it to that, which would be good if they do. Yes, Boyd made the right choice. The choice was to get Tabitha, who has answers for where she was. If Tabitha wasn't in the ambulance and it was strangers, he should have saved Randall. I agree, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah, well, if you yell at people, hey, run.
Team Chris Evans. Yeah, no, he did the right choice. If it was anybody else, yeah, you save Randall because Randall's been there the longest, right? Oh, but I forgot, Julie, because you guys were talking on your stream the other day about the EMTs. They both died.
Yep.
I honestly thought that there was one that was quite, because this is so silly. I shouldn't talk about this. There was one that was quite like attractive. Like
I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I brought it up because that's what Julie and her friend were saying on the stream. Huh?
Oh,
they didn't
you
want
were?
Yeah, they didn't want the cute EMT guy
Because
to
you
die.
remember the other day I was saying that's one thing that I think like the show would have. It could benefit the show. Do you know what I mean? Like having like a hot guy, like some eye candy. Like.
That's exactly what I was saying on my show last week. I was saying, like, oh, God, how about some eye candy for the ladies? Let hot EMT live, but nope, no eye candy for the ladies.
I'm telling you, it'll bring more viewership, man. Do it 7 of 9 it. 7 of 9 it. That's what you need to do.
I mean, I was into Jade in season 1, but not this Sasquatch Jade. I'm all set with that now.
Yeah, but Jade doesn't cut the mustard like that. He ain't got.
No, not like this guy. True.
Yeah, this guy was.
So they pull the bullet out of Nancy? Nicky, that's it. They pull the bullet out of her and they stabilize her. We have them in the truck, and that's when Boyd decided that he was going to leave Randall there, but he takes the truck to Colony House and they all get inside and this conversation with, hold on, let me get to it, where Boyd actually gets in there. Maybe it's a little bit too soon. All right, so yeah, they save her.
Wait a minute, what is Marie doing? She didn't think maybe me putting some needle nose pliers in her body might rupture something else?
That's a good point.
You're a nurse, right? You know better. Are you still high? You thought the needle nose pliers was going to work and not cause internal bleeding? What?
No, I agree with you. But then we have Tabitha and Jim getting into the house and the look that everybody is giving her. Okay. Right? Now, they don't know that's Victor's father yet, but everybody is shocked to see her. Now, I'm sorry, but I said this on the stream, like this is Victor's father, right? Like, that's what should have came. The first thing that came out of her mouth, this is Victor's father. And the first question I would have asked is, where the hell were you? How did you get back? Like, the conversation should happen right here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but right. She was in an ambulance, to be fair. But other than that, there's no reason for them to believe that she got back to the real world.
No, I get it. But
they could talk to the police officer who just said I came from the real world.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing, though, right? So I know you said there's no reason, but when she comes in the ambulance with new people, that means you got out. Right? Because that was community.
You could have been in some other place with these new people who, just happened to meet them in that similar place.
But if that's the case, then you're smart enough to not come out at nighttime, right? That ambulance got there at nighttime. So it's all putting 1, 2, and 2 together. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, like, they should be asking her, but like, I think, you'd want, like, there's somebody dying there, and I don't know. I don't really like blame them. Like, oh, this is super stupid for not asking her at this.
No, I don't think it's super stupid either. But I know I would be asking. I'd be like, yo, how did she get out? Like, or how?
Where have you been?
Where has she been? Yeah, right. Where has she been? That would be my question. But I don't think he should have saved Randall instead of Tabitha. Right choice. I agree with you. Too soon. Rest in peace, hot EMT. We're doing a dedication to hot EMT tomorrow night on Julie's Live. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna have a funeral service and everything for it?
We'll do a special little tribute.
You're gonna have some pictures and EMT
pictures like what is it? Like it's what those photos that the actors take. Some of his
I know the song. Oh my god,
that's hilarious. Which song are you gonna play at his funeral? I'm bringing sexy back.
Oh, that would be fitting too.
What the appendix? Yeah, I know.
No, I honestly thought he was going to be a main character. I thought him and maybe the policewoman would survive. Maybe
they could have a replacement for. We need a doctor. We need a real doctor that's going to actually know how to save everybody. So I think that's one of them should have lived.
I did think I only thought one of the EMT guys were going to die and we'd have 2 new characters, but they said nope. We'll give you a taste of Mr. Cutie and then take him away from you guys. So sorry, ladies.
It's on too soon.
Never let Junkie be your doctor.
Exactly, because if you pull you had to pull the bullet out, right? But you also got to think about the stitching of everything that this got shot at, right? So there's holes, so there will be internal bleeding. So that should be the next thought. Like, what can we do now? You know,
Mhm.
and the truth is, Kristi would have figured that out. Marie's not as much. And if one of the EMTs live, they might say something too, because they deal with these type of emergency things all the time. So it was, I guess that's why they had to kill the EMT, because someone else would have thought better than this.
100%. Marielle should have expected that. Kristi absolutely would have thought of this, that this could be a possibility. So if anything happens to Kristi this season, like a lot of people are kind of predicting,
They're all dead.
They're screwed. They're in trouble. Yeah.
And I think she might be one of them to go, because it's a beloved character, or a couple beloved characters. I think she might be one of them. If I'm Jim, Tabby and I are talking first. The panel folks and the colony house would have to wait. I get it, because it's your wife. You want to take her upstairs, make sure everything, and you probably protect her too from people bum rushing her. So I get that too. But I guess the curiosity in me, knowing that she got out and I'm stuck here with these creatures, nah, so you gotta do something to let me get out of here. Because I'm going to that tree.
But that's it's interesting, because that you saw in the next episode, they do end up talking. So they say, okay, we need to get together, talk about what's going on, what happened with Tabitha. But first, I need to talk to my wife. So yeah.
Facts, 100%. So Donna comes in, they have a conversation, a lot of talking. Then they have Tilly.
Was a sign.
And then boom, kimono lady shows up.
And why does everyone stare at them and not say anything?
Well, at first I thought, we thought, oh, is he dreaming again? But he gets up and walks away. Now, she's not really there, but he gets up and walks away, and then he's looking at it and he bumps into somebody. So he was daydreaming it. He's seen it while he was awake, right? So
tell somebody. I think that's important, because everyone is seeing these things. If everyone talked about it, we'll all know.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. They need to talk. That's what I think is going to happen in the next episode. Julie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was super interesting, really trippy, because the last time he saw her, I believe he had absolutely nodded off asleep on the couch, and it was a dream. Now this time it was a waking dream. It was a vision, like we've seen some other characters have. And so yeah, that was fascinating. And I also thought it was interesting, Tilly just happens to be there again for this one. Like they're trying to make us think she's sus. They keep driving that point home, right?
Yes. And that's why it's like, maybe she's not, but no, she's too sus. She has to be. But it actually asked for help. And I think that's the first time we heard it talk.
Yes.
Right? So it said, help me, please. That 100% is Fatima. That's what she's turning into. There's no doubt in my mind. And that creature is, or like her consciousness is asking for help. Go ahead. What do you think?
But he was seeing that shit before she was pregnant, no?
No, she was when they said Fatima was pregnant in season 2, Kristi estimated it was about I believe 2 to 3 weeks pregnant, and the time passes super slow in this show. So she was pregnant before Elgin first saw the bathtub vision, dream of that thing. So yeah, it could
6
be.
to 8 weeks pregnant. Yeah,
it could be.
Now, I don't remember. I think he started seeing it before she was pregnant, but I can't be sure, because I know he started seeing stuff as soon as he got in there. But Brian has to run. So, Brian, shout out your channel real quick. Let the people know where they can find you.
Say I'm 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We go on Mondays and Thursdays talking about all type of nerd culture stuff, talking about movies, TV shows, comic books, anything you could think of. We probably would talk about. We'll look at trailers, reactions, and stuff like that. But I'm about to go do my football show, because I'm a Bears fan, so I got to do that next.
Take care, brother. Have a good one. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Nice. See you later.
Papa Sock said, I just wanted to take time to say I appreciate your live and giving reviews and answering our questions. I know your time is valuable, and this project is important to you as well. I appreciate you guys coming in here and watching with us, man. You know what I mean? So thank you very much, because I would have been doing it regardless. I like this show. I really do. I wish I would have done seasons 1 and 2, but after I started watching, so like
it was my idea.
Actually, it was my idea. I asked you to come on,
Yeah,
and because
see
of
how
doing this,
see how this Negro lies. See how this
it,
Negro lies.
it was
Bareface.
my. Don't listen to this guy. It was my idea. But at the
Oh,
same time, I met a lot of new people doing this and this show, and I was like, man, because I was always like, man, I hope people are watching the show. Me and Nerdman was saying that, and then when I realized how much people are watching the show after I did the stream, I'm like, it's good. It's good that people are really watching it because
I
I
feel
think
like
it's
it's
really
been a
good.
kind of slow burn for people to catch on to this show, but like, yeah, it's a really good show. Um, again, I'm not disappointed by this season. I just want to know where it's going. Like, I feel like it, it, and maybe that's a benefit or that's a good thing for the show. That I like, but I feel like I want to know quickly. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it feels like there's answers coming in this season.
This
You
is
know.
the one show, I appreciate it because we get to do this every week. But this is the one show I wish they would have dropped all at once to binge watch because I get th- so they kill it with every cliffhanger at the end of an episode. And in
Mhm.
every episode has me just wanting more and more and more. So like I don't
What
think
do you
there's
think?
another show that
What do you think they're gonna do to this Randall guy? Like now he's dead outside. Because I think the show has to pick up from that
you
moment.
are
Like
you obviously didn't
if
see
they,
the end of the
if they
you obviously no never mind. You obviously didn't see the end of the show.
Yeah, he moved. He's alive. He's
Yeah, he's
alive
not dead.
he's alive, that's my point. He's
Yeah,
alive.
yeah,
So
yeah, he's
they've
alive.
got to start, which
Oh
is
yeah,
what
they
I
will.
thought they'd be doing. I thought this season that's what they were like gonna be running with, and you even said to me, "Yeah, I think that's gonna be what they're gonna be running with, like eventually, where like
Mhm.
every episode like kind of starts from the moment of the clip, you know, the next episode from the cliffhanger. I think
It
they've
has.
got to at this. They can't just skip and go, oh, it's daytime, and then we just find out what happened
No,
to Randall.
but every
Like
episode
they gotta start
has
from that
started where
moment.
the other every episode has started where the other one left off, right? One left off with the bus, with the ambulance, and then it started with the ambulance. One episode ended with her talking to Victor's father, and then it started with her talking to Victor's father. So it's been doing that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I meant
It's been doing that.
more like while they're in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like while like
Trust me.
the
Trust me.
they're
These
still going.
episodes are definitely going to be picking up more and more, right? You're always going to get the drama because the show is, even though there's this big mystery, it's more about the people in the town and their interactions with each other and how they're handling the situations. So
Mhm.
you're going to get a lot of that, but you're also going to get a lot of the
But
stuff,
okay,
you
so
know.
my question is, what do you think they're gonna do about Randall?
Okay,
Do you
so
think
we'll
Jordan
get into
can
that.
save it?
We'll get into
Oh,
that
you
in a
want to get?
second because yeah, because they spoil it in the trailer. They show a scene where Randall and Julie are together and he has a bandage on his face. So they pretty much spoil that he gets out. We just don't know how.
I wish they would stop spoiling stuff with their
Me
own
too.
show. I
Yeah, me
wish they would
too.
stop that.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
They
I really wish they would. Huh?
showed that in the trailer in the next episode.
Not for the next episode. I think it's like, when the season starts and that's the big first trailer, they show a scene where he's standing in a like a forest
Oh,
with
what's
Julie and
the
he has a
story that
bandage on his face. And it's obviously that we never seen him with a bandage on his face, and at the end of this episode we know why he's gonna have it. So yeah, they kind of spoiled that. It was dumb. That was a mistake. They shouldn't have did that. Right? So we also
Wow.
get Ethan and Julie talking, and they're having a conversation, and they're saying if the parents don't come back, they gotta be, we gotta look out for each other. And I was so happy in this scene because I kid you not, I swore Ethan was gonna run out of that house again, and he was gonna put them in danger. And I was just like, please don't run out, and he didn't run out. So I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. What are your thoughts? Do you think he was gonna run out?
I thought he might. God, I thought that this kid was supposed to be smart, but this season, he's run outside at night twice. But
Facts.
I was relieved that he didn't do it this time. That he stayed put for once. I mean, I get it. He's just a kid, but I mean, he came off as so intelligent in season 1 and like ahead of his years, beyond his years. But yeah,
And
he did.
and I'm sorry, but
Sorry,
even as
what's your name, dear?
what's
What's
that?
your name, dear?
Julie.
Who, me?
It is Julie.
Julie. Yeah.
Julie. Are you a Game of Thrones person? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I've never actually watched Game of Thrones, believe it or not. One of the few people who
No,
never
I was
did.
going to make a comparison with one character. Like the mother kept telling him to stop climbing the walls. And he falls off and or he's pushed off or whatever, and he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. This kid is so annoying with that shit. Oh, I'm gonna run outside and do this. Get the fuck back at you're 8 years old, dude.
Yeah. and I'm sorry, but you could say he's intelligent or whatever, but that don't mean those things. He would be scared to sleep at nighttime. You know what I mean? Like there would be you've never seen anything like that. There's creatures out there. This kid should be so scared. It's not even funny. But I guess I get what they're doing. But like I said, I'm glad he didn't run out because that would have just pissed me off. Eric, I think he was trying to trick her. I was at Jeremy's. Then I switched to this one on my TV. Ghosts. Yeah, okay. So you guys are just having a conversation between yourself. Here we go. I'm scared for Tabitha because she hasn't been to sleep yet, and no one has told her about the cicadas yet. Um, Interesting, but I think the cicadas were only affecting Julie, Randall, and there was someone else. I can't remember who the other person was, but I think the other person died, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I didn't even know the cicadas were
In
affecting
season 2, when the cicadas had the 3 of them, didn't one of them die?
There was one random red shirt, Paula, that died. And she wasn't. It was confusing because she wasn't part of the official 3 that got chosen in the end, but she did. She died, and then 3 were picked: Julie, Marielle, and Randall.
Even the one who died in this episode is a kind of a red shirt as well, isn't she? I don't remember her.
Yes, she was. Because the first time we seen her was when she was trying to get into the bathroom, and I was like, oh, like a new character, and then a week later she died. So
she was designed to be cannon fodder. She was designed to make us hate her from the beginning with that scene. Oh yeah,
100%.
No, I was feeling her on that, bro. Like if you need to go to the toilet and someone's just got clogging up the toilet, that's a nightmare. I felt her on that one. But
me too. I detest spoilers.
I didn't even realize it was her. I honestly didn't. I was like, oh,
yeah, it was her. Yeah. And then she was the same one that was cleaning up the blood at the beginning of the episode. And when the black girl said bad juju, and sure enough, she's the one that died. So thanks for pointing that out. I didn't catch that part. So me too. I detest the spoilers. This show is so much more fun when we are surprised. I agree with you 100%. I wish I didn't have to watch trailers, but everyone else will. So yeah, I think they could do trailers in a way to where they don't spoil anything, and I think that was a huge mistake. And I'm pretty sure if they look back on it now, they'd be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have showed that. But it doesn't make sense for someone to say, yeah, make me a monster. Yeah, no, of course not. Thomas told him to be brave. Mom needs him. Yeah, he did. But I think Thomas also told him that he needs to help his mom, right? To me, like, oh, you need to go outside. Because at one point he does run outside to catch him, and then he doesn't do it at this scene. I just thought he was going to do it again. Julie, is Randall half dead? No, I saw Jeremy Ice and Fire was on, but my TV changed it to live. I didn't touch anything. I thought Jeremy was showing a clip of this on his live. I got you. I started. Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
I started to think that they really have to kill Ethan. Yeah, there's something with Ethan in these kids in this show for sure. That's why he ran out because Thomas phone call telling him to be brave. Mom needs him. Absolutely. That was strange. Okay, you guys talking over there. Let's see what else we got. Um, I need to collect photos of hot EMT guy. Just go
I
online.
was
I'm pretty sure you'll
trying
find
to
a lot of
I
them.
was trying to find the actor actually, because I couldn't. He was kind of like you only saw like a little sliver of him. You didn't really like get a full view of the actor. So I was trying to find a picture.
So are y'all watching Teacup? It has From similarities. No, I didn't, but it's something I'll definitely check out if it's like From. I didn't know Scarlett guessed I was supposed to be here. Well, I'm glad you are here. Absolutely, 100%. Sorry, I meant to say Tabitha saying can't go to sleep now because of the dreams dangers occurring is what I meant. I got you. Okay, you guys talking over here and this one here. Never seen that show. Okay, yeah, me neither. So now, after their conversation, we get back to Jade and Jade and Kristi and they're talking, having a conversation. I think this is where he explains what he's seeing.
Up to me, the skull full of blood. It was just a
Yeah, yeah. So he's telling about the skull full of blood and what he's seen. That's a good scene. I really appreciate that. But now we get to who? We get to Victor as a kid, and he's told to clean up. Like he couldn't bury the body, so they told him to pick things from the body, and then they would carry him. But then he starts talking about someone, and he remembers the name
He was our friend. He was
Charlie.
nice, but then he started seeing the symbol, and then he started getting scary. What?
Okay, so yeah, he does his little. Oh, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You know what I mean? Which I was like, oh, okay,
No,
no, we're not doing that. But she convinced him.
Well,
Go ahead, Norman.
he's always
yeah.
sketching up me. This is what I'm telling you. I don't trust this guy. Like he's like sketching up.
What are you gonna say, Julie?
Oh, yeah, I was like, I swear to God, if he just leaves it there, I'm gonna scream. But I was, oh, thank God, she managed to get something out of him after he was triggered. He had his little
Hmm.
episode, and this was a really bad one too. I mean, when I actually saw a trailer before this aired where he was flinging that sheet around, and it looked like there was a fire underneath. A lot of us thought that he
Hmm.
was putting out a fire, but he was just having a meltdown. And yeah, it was super interesting. I've been dying to get more insight and knowledge into what happened before that massacre back then. What happened with Christopher? What happened with this dummy that I thought belonged to Christopher? So that was cool. I liked this scene.
Me too. And I was right there with you because From has a way of like starting information and then something messing it up to where we don't get the information we're supposed to get. And I was like, oh, please don't do this again because we're getting somewhere, right? And they've
Right.
been teasing some sort of answers for this season. So we got to start getting into the answer part of it. If you want to add more questions, that's fine. But at least we need to start, closing some of these threads that are already been going on. So I was
100%.
glad that they did that. Victor doesn't want to talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah, but like Beth said, Victor is a traumatized child man. Cut him some slack. No, I do. I do cut him some slack. I was just hoping that we actually get some information,
Yeah.
Said more no no's. Yeah, I know, right? How sad that Victor had to be with the scariest person in From to feel safe. Yeah, that was a good line too. I know I passed over that line, but that was a good line when he said she was the scariest person, and she used it to calm him down. Right? That's what she says. I'm the scariest person. Right?
Yes.
Jade,
Yeah.
How are you the scariest person, though? Like,
Because she was killing people in season 1. Remember?
sure, but she's still not the. I mean, unless you're not counting the monsters as persons, I guess.
Yeah. Right. And she was killing people, hearing voices and stuff like that. So a lot of people in the town were scared of her. So, and like they said, Victor's kind of a child, so I could see why he's scared of her.
This is dumb.
Hmm.
yeah.
So we got another glimpse of the puppet. And for those of you that been paying attention, we've seen it before, right? And now we're gonna and usually when they show us things like that, I didn't remember the puppet until I seen it again. But now that I'm like really paying attention to the show a lot more, I'm catching all of these things, and I'm not gonna miss a lot more of these things. But should have known that that puppet would show up again. What are your thoughts, Julie? Go ahead.
Yeah. I expected to see the puppet again, but I did not expect what we got in this episode. I never see. I mean, I know that it's an old trope having a haunted dummy that talks on its own and stuff, but it just didn't seem to fit with this show. So what I expected was we would get another Jade vision where he sees Christopher making the puppet talk and then the puppet talking on its own. I thought it would be a vision that Jade has because that puppet he's shown up in Jade's vision once before, and then Jade saw it down in the tunnel in season 2. So I'm psyched. I'm glad that we got this, but I'm questioning now, why is this thing possessed? Like maybe this dummy is possessed by one of the entities here.
Exactly. I 100% believe it's possessed, right? And I think Charlie was its puppet, right? It used Charlie to lure the people in the town so that they were able to kill them. I really believe that's what happened. Nerdman, what are your thoughts?
I never saw that puppet before, but I thought it was pretty silly. When was the puppet in there before?
Well, I think Jade had a vision of it. He's seen it before.
Yep.
What season was that? Season 2, right? It was in season 2?
It was like the first episode of season 2. He was in Colony House right after the radio thing came down and the storm. He was sitting in Colony House rolling up his last joint, and then there was the dummy, and it screamed at him, and so that was the first time. And then at the end of the season, in the finale, Jade was in the cave, and the dummy was like the only thing that was he even saw down there. There were no monsters before the vision of the kids on the slabs.
Yeah,
it was just this dummy. Yeah.
I have a prediction. This dummy is not going to play anything into the conclusion of this story.
Oh, 100% it's going to pay a conclusion. They brought, because they hinted at it twice, and now we're getting a backstory to it, right? So we'll get into that because they do show a little bit more, but we have Boyd here, and he's talking about leaving Randall.
I just fucking. Oh my God, Boyd. I could.
Now you can see, Boyd's going through it, right? He's been going through it. He had to watch Tian-Chen die, and now he has to, live with the fact that he left Randall out there. So he's going through it. So at least it was good to have that moment where he was questioning whether he did the right thing. We also finally have Tabitha and Jim having that conversation. Now we get, of course, in the middle of it, so we don't know if she's told them everything.
See something, find something. And I tried. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
Now I believe that she knows more than she thinks, right? I believe because she was studying those pictures all night, and I just believe she's not putting things together. And further episodes, something's gonna happen that's gonna remind her of maybe something she's seen in the picture, and she's gonna be able to put a few things together. What are your thoughts? I'll let you go first, Nerdman.
Oh yeah, well, I agree with you. I don't. Yeah, definitely. There's not much more to add to it. Yeah, pretty much that's it.
Yeah, I really hope that there's more that she'll put together in her head, because I just think that was a gold mine down there, that basement full of paintings. And she spent the whole night down there. She was convinced that there's something in there that she needs to figure out. And she thinks she's just missed it. So, and especially given the fact that she's been brought back so soon, if she didn't get anything of value while she was out, that would be a letdown. So I do hope, I think she'll remember something too. I hope so. Because personally, I think she was sent out for a reason, and I don't think it was just to bring Henry back, because we've seen Frumville seems to have no problem drawing in whoever it wants as long as they're in a vehicle, and we see Henry drives. So why would it need her to go get him? I think the boy in white sent her out to discover something, to get some kind of insight, probably in that basement from all those paintings. Maybe.
I agree. And I even think that she may end up having a conversation with the boy in white sooner or later, right? And a lot of stuff is going to come out because I don't think we've ever seen him or heard him talk yet.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
going to say, you know that the phone is going to call her.
The phone's going to call her? Possibly.
Oh, I like that. I bet it will.
Possibly.
Definitely will.
Interesting. So Nicky dies, and I like to show, when Boyd's performances are on fire and...
You see what you done? It was an accident. What's wrong with you, officer? Huh? Something scares you, you just start shooting, huh? Is that right?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You're sorry, huh? Come down and you're sorry. Come on, get the fuck off me!
Hey! You come with me right fucking now.
Now, and what I loved about it, right? Because we get this performance, and Donna comes in there like, you come with me right now. And we think that Donna is going to chew him a new asshole. But she gets into the room.
Shut the door.
Look, I'm not really in the mood for a lecture right now. So what we're gonna do, Donna?
And she finally breaks down.
And this is when they finally get it on.
Whatever, nerd man. Of course, your mind's in the gutter. What did you guys think of this scene, though? I thought it was really good.
It was fascinating. We've never seen her break down like this before. She shed a few tears by herself. I think toward the end of season 1, it was after the Colony House massacre. But other than that, she's held it together. I mean, the only emotional meltdown she had was when she was hacking up the floor with an axe. It was all that despair. It turned into anger. But now, I mean, she completely broke down. I think this place is trying to break all of them, and she's being pushed more and more to her breaking point. And we see that here. And I know a lot of people think that she's a mole and that this is just a performance. But if that's the case, this is an Oscar-worthy performance, because that looks legit to me. That looks genuine.
I know I said down earlier, and I was just joking because that's what I heard. I'm still 100%, and I will always be Tilly. There is no doubt in my mind it's Tilly. You know what I mean? Like, nobody else but her. She is suspect to me. Nerdman, I know you like performances. What did you think about these performances?
I thought it was an awesome performance. I think she's such a great actress. I'm surprised. I feel like I remember her from other things as well, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But she's a great actress, and she steals pretty much every scene she's in. Beyond that, what it means, I don't know. It's like the place is trying to break them. It said it's trying to break Boyd. I think it's playing into the theme of that. Like, they're all at their lowest point right now, which feels to me like you're concluding your story. Like, the story's conclusion is coming, because that's the third act kind of thing. Like, when everyone's broken down to their lowest point. So.
Well, one thing they say in the trailer that I think I played it for you the last time I want to show is like, this is the end of the beginning, right? So this season, they pretty much called it the end of the beginning. The first 2 seasons were the beginning to get, acquainted and what's going on. And I think after this season going forward, it's going to be all predicated on how they're going to get out and how to stop these creatures. So it's going to be very interesting to see. He said, is it possible that Christopher is actually Henry, that Victor turned mentally into Christopher? Is Henry a bad guy? In the trailer, why is Victor so scared? You see, now we're getting into a lot of these theories and stuff like that. I don't know why he's so scared, but I think we talked about it earlier to say that maybe he may have been an abusive father, right? And that's what actually made, you know, Victor's mom take the kids and go and not tell him, just leave him, right? Because she could have told him we all could have went together. And like you said, maybe he was saying you're crazy, I don't know what's going on, and didn't believe her. And now he's feeling guilty for that situation. So poor Donna, this was coming. She's been breaking for a minute now, and after all that has happened, just in this season alone, I feel for him. Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I have.
one thing we
That's
haven't mentioned.
what's
Sorry,
that?
one thing we haven't mentioned.
Yeah,
What do
go
you
ahead.
think of his reaction to the cop? Because I thought that was some bullshit.
Who? Boyd's reaction to the cop?
You can answer her first, and then we can talk about it. But like, I because of this, which is the most important part, we kind of glossed over how he reacted to the cop, how Boyd reacted to the cop shooting everything.
Okay, so we could get into that. I just want to say this.
Yeah.
I think Donna's gonna die before the end of the season.
Oh no, I love Donna.
Yeah, she is my prediction as one of the beloved characters that is going to die. Right?
Oh,
When you have this breakdown and you have that, yeah, I have her as as my prediction. I hope not. I really hope not because I like her too. But yeah, I think it's gonna be her.
You
So
think she's
Nerman said, "What's that?"
you think she's trying to book her next gig with all these great performances?
Well, I
mm.
hope I hope she gets I
She
hope she
knows
gets
she's
one.
out, so she's like, I'm gonna act the shit out of this.
Listen, if they do decide to kill her, I hope she comes back as a ghost like Father Katri, so that she's at
Yeah.
least in the show somehow. You know what I mean? I hope that's what happens because I don't want to. Now, again, it may be a stretch that she's gonna be the one, but it's just like when you see they're trying to get you emotionally invested in her, it's kind of because they're probably gonna have that death. Like, what other shocking
I
death would
don't, I
happen?
don't think, I don't think she's gonna die this season. I
We'll
honestly
see.
don't. I
We
think the
will
show's
see.
a little bit like it knows the worth of its because look at who it's putting in danger. It knows the worth of certain characters, and
I agree,
you're
but
killing
I also think
killing off nobody.
if they want that shock value, because they said a few beloved characters are gonna die. We already
Oh,
had one, right? Yes,
yeah, she's
yes,
yeah, she's
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
sorry, I didn't know
She
they said that.
yes,
If they said that, she's dead.
yeah. She's gonna be one of them. So I think so. Anyways, but you wanted to get to the cops his reaction to the cops. I think it was justified because again, this cop was shooting creatures that weren't like dying, like they didn't even have enough. So why you continue on shooting? Go ahead, Nerdman. I want to see what I wanted your thoughts as to why you thought it was bad.
Um, I mean,
And then
yes,
Julie, you go after
but
him.
you're hardly going to be rational in that particular situation, and I very much doubt that Boyd or a number of people were rational when they first got to Fromville. I'm sure they did some stupid shit, but beyond that, what was he taking her to? Oh, was he taking her to say sorry to the girl?
Yes.
Or he was taking her to see what she'd done. Sorry, pardon me, not sorry.
Yes.
So my thing was when I watched it at first, I thought he was trying to throw her out the house. So that was what I was really. Like, I really thought he was trying to dash her out the house. I was like, shit.
No, he was taking her to see the damage that she caused
Okay. Yeah,
by
it makes
being
more
reckless.
sense now. The scene to me now. I go over it, but like he's breaking down. He's blaming her for shit
Yeah.
that isn't her fault.
And that's the thing too. I think his reaction was more because of what he did to Randall than to actually the
He was
situation that happened with the cop, right?
deflecting. He was
Yeah.
deflecting.
Yep.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is good
Because
writing. That is actually good writing. It, even though I think the character is like you can see through it, but that's naturally what people do when they feel
yes.
responsible. Try and
Yes.
project it onto somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. So what it reminded me of immediately, right back in episode 1 of the whole series, when Frank, was drunk and he, his family got murdered, Boyd, hauled Frank over there. I mean, it was brutal. Hauled Frank over there and shoved his face really close to his little girl's body. Like,
Yeah.
look what you've done, kind of like that bad dog treatment. Like, look what you did. And he's like, a man protects his family. And he had this really emotional response. And that, I thought, was another classic example of projection, because we later found out that he feels he failed to protect his family. While he was out scouring the woods looking for stuff, he ignored the fact that his wife was losing her mind. And Ellis even begged him, Dad, Mom's not doing well. Stay here. Don't go out there today. He didn't listen. And when he came back, Abby was shooting up the town. So that was classic projection too, when he was like, a man protects his family. So now here he is doing it again with the cop. And I personally thought it was justified, but yeah, throwing her outside at night would be a death sentence. So that wouldn't be justified. I agree.
No, I misunderstood the scene clearly, but like, yeah, I was just like, wow, he's gonna throw her out. Because then I was like, yeah, you should have, this woman should have like gone off.
But to be fair, right? Like, it wouldn't have been in the realm of possibility, because remember, in the first season, they used to put anyone in, like, if they used to put them in a box, right? And let the creatures come and get them at nighttime. So they used to put people in boxes. They did that to the guy whose daughter died and everything. So it wouldn't have been in the realm for him to say, "Hey, you need to bounce," right? But yeah, but we also know, and to your
it
point,
would be useful to have a cop around, to be honest.
oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And to your point, Nerdman, also too, when I went back and watched the first season, they pretty much say that people, when they first get to the town, they don't act correctly, they don't think correctly, right? They make mistakes, and that's why they had to tie up Tabitha and Jim and them for the night to make sure that they didn't do any mistakes. So there is that too as well. Fatima could replace Donna as top colony house, but now Fatima is going through some things. I will say Donna makes it through this season anyways. Yeah, I feel you. This one I like though. Fatima might kill and eat Ellis. Oh my gosh, that would be insane. That's a possibility too.
Damn.
So we're gonna get into that part, but that's a possibility too.
That's dark.
Well, he is black. Oh, they like to kill black people.
What you saying? They like dark meat, nerd man?
Yeah.
Beth Ellis better sleep with one eye open, 100%.
Yeah.
But he grabbed her like he did Frank to show her what her actions were. Absolutely, 100%. So now, after that, they have that conversation, they hug, and then we get more of the conversation with Victor and Sara. And Victor, he remembers this.
Spending more and more time alone. And one day,
and they make a specific point to show that it's talking without him.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then they yell.
Oh. Amazing.
What's up, Tamika? How you doing? She said, yeah, that cop was working on my nerves. I think everybody, because the cop did some stupid stuff there. But that's why I said, Nerdman, that puppet is going to be very important, because it's sitting there and it's talking, have a conversation. And now you could say that maybe Charlie was having it in his head, but Victor's seen it having a conversation. And that's why Victor said, we need to get Jasper. What's that?
It's only Victor who's seen it.
Good point. I know where you're going. Victor's suspect. I know where you're going, but I don't think it's Victor.
Everything he sees, it's always him telling people that he's seen it. You never see him privately experience anything. Have you noticed that? That's the characters you have to watch. Because you were saying like Randall or whatever, the guy Brian earlier was saying Randall, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, because you've seen him in private dealing with like all these delusions. Whenever Victor's dealing with anything weird, it's always him telling people what happened, or this happened, or that happened. I'm telling you, he's connected, man. He is connected.
Can you
It
play a
might
boy
be
scream before he went upstairs? Yeah.
he's
Go ahead.
evil, but
Let me right fucking now.
The scream you wanted to hear?
my point is, Victor knows what those monsters are.
Yes. Yes. I just think he doesn't remember. He just
Maybe
doesn't remember
you know
what's
what
there.
it might be. Maybe he can't leave the town, but everyone else can, and he doesn't want them to leave the town because he doesn't want to be alone with the monsters.
It'd be interesting.
That's an interesting take.
Very interesting take. So now we get Fatima, and here's where we get into the she want to be left alone with the body, and the fact that no one questioned it is kind of weird. But then she's looking at the cut, and she's like, "Oh." And I think like because remember when before she ate the rotten food, she was sniffing like I can smell this. You know what I mean? Like oh, it smells good. And I think that's what happened when she seen that body. It started to smell good to her, right? And that's why she did it. Hey, what's up, Loki? Jasper is Victor's brother's little cousin. The way the show is going, it could be, it could be. And then she starts
At this
acting.
point,
I can't show it, but yeah, go ahead.
at this point, like if she loves this guy, she's gonna like tell him like what she's been doing.
You know what? You see, here's the thing, and this is why I think Tilly is suspect because I don't care if I see someone eating rotten food like the way that food was rotten. I'm telling somebody. She ain't tell nobody. You know what I mean? Like she kept that to herself and then tried to make it like it was okay talking about, oh yeah, I still lick eggshells. Nah, you
No, I
suspect.
agree with you on that. That's 100%. I ate eggshells when I was pregnant. That's probably because you were one of the monsters. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. So
Yeah,
Fatima,
Tilly is sauce. I agree.
big time. So Fatima is digging in the wound and she's eating the blood. And when I seen this, I was like, yeah, I am confirmed now 100% that she's turning into something. It's not a baby. Go ahead. Your thoughts, Julie.
Yeah, this has got to be some kind of entity using her as a vessel. This is definitely not a normal baby. It's now it's craving blood. I mean, could she? I don't personally think that it's one of the nightmare creatures like the monsters that we know, because we've never seen what the monsters do with these bodies. The organs disappear. I mean, maybe they're eating them, but we've never seen it. So it's possible this could be some other entity. We know there are others. We had the cicada entity. So this could be something else. Maybe some new type of evil entity growing in her. Could be.
Could be. Nerdman, you think it's a baby or you think she's turning into something?
Well, look, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? I mean, he's 0 for 3. First she's eating like like garbage, and then now she's eating bodies. Like she's got to go, and like she's got to go, man. Like she's gonna be isolated, and I know nobody knows about it. That's the problem, but like, yeah, like I think she's. Do you think she's still in possession of her own mind? Like, why is she telling people like, yo? I'm doing some fucked up shit. Like, I might.
I think when she told Tilly that she couldn't talk about it. I think she's in her right mind. I just think whatever it is starting to take over, and she's hungry, right? Like she's hungry because she can't eat food. She can't keep real food down, so she's hungry. So whenever she smells something that sounds like or smells like something that she could drink or eat, she goes for it. And I think that's what's happening. And how do you tell somebody that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else think Henry's reunion with Son will have to wait because Victor and Sara are going to the caves first to look for Jasper? Um, That's a good question because we do see Victor running away when he hears that his father is there. So it's definitely a possibility that we're not going to see that reunion right away, but we're going to get it though. I think they take the organs to try to transplant them and make themselves human again. I don't think they eat the bodies. Ooh, that's an interesting take. Hey, chat, joining because I love this show. Well, we appreciate you joining because we all love the show as well. And like I said, I see a lot of new people in the chat, so thank you guys for coming in. It's always a pleasure. We be doing this every week, and I be doing watch parties to it. And Julie has her channel where she's going to be doing streams on it too as well. So make sure you check that out, man. Trust me. I want to see Fatima, the monster, outside, begging Ellis to let her in. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. This season is a great season. I agree. I agree. So, how far do you? Because it cuts to back to Donna and Boyd. How much of that body do you think she ate though? That's the question, right? Is she just
Mm.
sticking it and drinking blood, or are we gonna find out next episode that she went all out and ate guts and all of that stuff? What do you guys think?
Ooh, it's possible. And I thought that we were finally kind of marked safe from cannibalism with this show because those crops showed up in the woods. So I thought, okay, they're not going to have to resort to that. We're not going to see that in this season. But with her, it's possible now. I mean, it doesn't take much to go from blood now to just taking a piece of flesh. Ooh, I
Facts.
hope not personally. I don't like I personally don't like cannibalism storylines, but we could see it. I wouldn't be surprised if we do.
I love
I
the
think,
cannibalism storylines. Big fan.
of course you do, there, man. But yeah, I do think we're gonna see it. Yeah, go ahead.
uh, Look, if she now has a taste for blood, is she gonna maybe like, let people die like so she can eat them? Because if she can't eat anything else, like that's what I'm concerned about. Like, is she, maybe she'll even like kill a person, like so
Yes.
that she get the, like if she
Yes.
gets too hungry, um. So I don't know what she's gonna do to that body, but I don't think she's gonna take enough of it for them to realize.
Right
Yep.
away.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I agree with you too. I think she's a little bit smarter than that. I think but she's gonna get the taste for it, right? And sooner or later, she's gonna want more. So I'm with you. I think she might kill somebody. And someone said earlier that Ellis might be her victim, which I definitely think that's a possibility. Not yet, but towards the end of the season, yeah, that could definitely be a possibility.
I think that's gonna break Boyd. I think that's the monsters like finally
Yeah,
breaking him.
could be. Could be because he thinks he's gonna have a grandson, right? To find out that, the mother of that grandson, ended up killing his son. And if she is pregnant, she's gonna have a demon baby. Oh man,
Mm.
that'll be interesting. She probably has a jade drink flask and filled it with the blood Mary. Yeah, she probably did. She probably she probably did. She took some of that to have for later. You can't convince me she is pregnant with an evil force. Yeah, she could be, but I think she's actually turning into something. And then we get to the final part, the cliffhanger. Seems like everything is all fine and dandy. Donna's feeling better. They have a little toast, and then the ambulance lights go on. And then Randall shows he's alive. I'm telling you, when it ended, I was like, it's over? Oh my God, the
Ooh.
show really ended like that on a cliffhanger. And I think it was a banger of a cliffhanger. So let's go with your thoughts, Julie.
Yeah, oh, I'm with you. It went by so fast. It was shorter than some of the other episodes, and I wanted more. But yeah, they knew how to end with a bang. I was not expecting that type of thing. I mean, I just couldn't believe how they did that. I mean, usually the monsters will display, you know, the fresh dead body that they killed, and now they displayed him like just injured, and it's almost, you know, they must have carried him up the street, almost like they're trying to put this in Boyd's face, like, you know, like, look at this guy that you left for dead, and people, you know, gonna have to deal with.
The worst one they did was the nail in that girl's head, and then they just left her alive, like nailed to a tree.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. Yeah. I think I said it all, like with regards to this. My curiosity was like, I would just shoot him. If I saw that, I'd be like, okay, mercy killing, just shoot him. Go to the
So you're
roof.
just saying stand by the window and shoot him, not even thinking about trying
I don't
to shoot
know.
him?
Can you go to the roof or something like that, or like something like where they can't get at you? Because if you open the window, they can get at you, right?
Yeah, anything.
Oh yeah.
So you think Randall there is a trap?
Yeah, it's clearly a trap. I mean, like, there's no doubt it's a trap. Which means somebody could die trying to save him, by the way.
You know what? I'm not so sure it's a trap, right? Because they know that Boyd left Randall there to die, which, if he survived, would absolutely cause tension. And I believe that right now that Boyd is their biggest threat, right? Now, for some reason, they may not want to kill Boyd because they find it a game, they find it fun, they like to hunt, but they may be knowing that Randall will be a shit disturber, and that will take Boyd off his game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, yeah, like, of all people to do this with Randall, he already had a chip on his shoulder. It's only going to get worse now, and people are going to be questioning Boyd's judgment, and this will throw him for a loop, because he was he was in the military, and he was trained not to leave anyone behind. So this is that whole leave no man behind thing is very much a part of him. So this is going to continue with the progression of trying to break him mentally, doing this to him, like putting him in that position, you know.
I agree 100%. Nerdman, agree?
Yeah, I agree. I've got to go though. But nice talking to you, Julie, or meeting you as well.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Yeah. Well, we finished the episode, so we're gonna close it up anyways. Just gonna get to these last comments. I think the monsters know Randall went to level 2, and they're curious as well to see if he had those killer blood worms into him. That's interesting. Crazy enough, I think Randall will be mad as fuck, but he will tell Boyd it was the right decision to make, as the town turns on Boyd. Could be interesting too. I think he'll be upset, but I do think he'll understand what Boyd did. I agree with you. New sub, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for subbing. Said have a good night. Great live. I appreciate it. Tamika said exactly. I agree. So that was the end of the episode, guys. I want to thank everybody that came in and joined the live and had a conversation with us and gave us your thoughts and theories. It was a pleasure. Julie, tell them what you got coming up tomorrow and Thursday.
So I'll have my one of my weekly From lives tomorrow, around like 10:15 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday night again around 10 p.m. Eastern I'll be live, and yeah, over the next few days I'll have some theory videos on From as well on my channel.
Make sure to check that out, and I will actually be there on Thursday night, so it'll be another great conversation. Nerdman, where can they find you? Yes. Go ahead, Nerdman. Where can they find you?
Tuesdays is my channel. It's Hot Takes Tuesdays, and yeah, we've got a lot of entertaining streams and some video essays on like pop culture stuff.
Absolutely. And his link is in the description. I will put Julie's link to the channel in the description after this show. I thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you, everybody in the panel that came on, all the new subs. And Man, keep watching this show. Next Wednesday, I will be doing a watch party for it. So it drops at midnight. I do a watch party where you can watch along with us. So they'll be doing that. And then I'll be back here next Tuesday to talk about the episode that we just seen. So thank you guys again. Once again, I'm going to close it out, and I'll close it out with the trailer for next week. Peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one.
What happened last night? Tell me, Spock. What? Listen, Tabitha got out. It's possible. Where's the tree?
Larry, wait.
Look at the top.
I got it.
Victor, your dad is here.
It's gonna go us for
He's upstairs.
No.
Victor,
We're going to the tree. What?
they're right. I went out and I came back. And I came back with nothing.